Fox Sports.
We are Fox Sports. We are Southwest.
The walk-off, one of baseball's greatest thrills. One swing of the bat, immediate victory achieved, and the euphoria that goes with it. Back in late April, Delano DeShields starred in one. 2 nights later, it was Elvis receiving the hero's welcome. And then, last night, this ball hit a ton! Deep left field! It is gone! A home run! And that was a monster blast to left field. Napoli has walked it off, and the Rangers take the series from San Diego. Tonight, the Catalyst and the Rangers are back at it, looking to ride last night's emotion into a 3-game series with an old division rival. Welcome to Texas Rangers baseball presented by AT&T. Boy, another lovely night here in Arlington. Fans coming in tonight hoping maybe to see some of the same magic that they experienced last night with the Rangers' walk-off win in the finale against the Padres. This is the opener of 3 against the Oakland A's. Welcome inside, everybody. Great to be with you tonight. I'm Dave Raymond with CJ Nitkowski. Boy, Mike Napoli provided the heroics in last night's win for the Rangers. It's not like he didn't get any support. Jonathan Lucroy chipped in a little bit, too.
It was really good to see both of those bats chip in big last night in this game. You think about Mike Napoli and coming up not just with the walk-off home run, but also the home run in the 8th inning as well. We know Napa's gotten off to a little bit of a slow start, but the power is there, so he comes up big. But then how about Jonathan Lucroy? We talk about what's been going on with him this season. He has been swinging the bat really well, but I love what we saw from him last night in his 3 hits. Every single one of them was the other way. A lot of times that will tell you what you need to know about a guy's swing, and Jonathan Lucroy looks like he is starting to get locked in right now, very comfortable at the plate.
Yeah, fun to see that offense going right now for the Rangers. Now on the pitching side today, one of the guys they're going to have to focus on, no, not Chris Davis, although they kind of do. But it's a different name this time. Yonder Alonso is the guy to focus on right now.
I think that's some good news as well for Rangers fans, because we know Chris Davis has been a problem, but Alonso now is the new guy to keep an eye on. You see the numbers there and what he has done so far this season. He has been beating up on right-handed fastballs. That's something that the Rangers have to be a little bit careful with tonight. The other thing for him, he's just getting the ball in the air a lot more than he had been in the past. His fly ball rate up over 20% from what he has usually done over the course of his career. So Andrew Kasher will have his hands full trying to combat that with his good 2-seam fastball.
All right, so a little glimpse there at some of the offensive guys in this game we'll be highlighting. The starting pitchers, they haven't gotten much run support.
No, they certainly have. When you think about Jesse Hahn, okay, well, 2.78, that's not a great number. Well, Andrew Kasher is going to give no sympathy to Jesse Hahn, one of the worst in Major League Baseball right now. Listen, there's no formula to it. There's no reason why. It's just kind of bad luck so far for Andrew Kasher. He is hoping, of course, that against Jesse Hahn, that the Rangers can get that turned around. He'd love to get that first win in a Rangers uniform.
A lot of history between these two teams, Western Division rivals, and in fact they've been playing it very even in recent years. We'll spotlight this great rivalry when we come back. AT&T Internet. Visit AT&T.com/keepcalm to learn more. And by Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. Well, ready to go tonight as we open a weekend series against the Oakland A's on another gorgeous evening here in Arlington. It's been a fun series between these two teams the last couple of years, and we'll put that rivalry now in our Shiner light blonde spotlight. You can't get a whole lot more even than that.
No, you certainly can't. Not when you both have 41 wins and 41 losses. And yes, it has been a pretty good rivalry here in the American League West. Of course, you see the Rangers there with the advantage on the power, but not as much so on the runs or the batting average. Kind of interesting to see how the Rangers have been built over these last 5 seasons. You'd almost would expect that they'd have a better record against the A's, but the A's have been a team that have been tough to contend with here for the Rangers, but hopefully they can get above 500 and stay above 500 starting tonight.
Let's take a look at the starting lineups in this one. We begin with the Oakland A's. 16 wins, 18 losses. They've actually fared somewhat well, just 2 games under. Rajai Davis today in the leadoff spot. Ryan Healy has been a trouble spot for the Rangers this year. Alonso the hot bat. Chris Davis, we all know his history. Lowry, Vogt, Plouffe, Matt Joyce, and then the former Ranger Adam Rosales will round out the lineup today for Oakland.
Now let's take a quick look here also at what Andrew Kasher will be featuring tonight and what he has done so far this year. It is the use of the two-seam fastball, not just the fact that he throws that pitch more than anything else that sticks out to me, but how well he has done it inside to right-handed hitters. Andrew Kasher not afraid to pitch in. It's a little bit of a refreshing change from what we're seeing around baseball, where you get some of these righties that aren't nearly as confident going in, but Kasher certainly does it and does it well.
So we're set to go. Cashner still looking for that first win in his native state of Texas. 0-3 this year, a .263 earned run average, and he'll start against Davis. You saw the low average at .207 for Davis, and he hits this ball sharply into left field, a base hit. That is interesting. We didn't get even time to begin the conversation about the struggles that they've had in the leadoff spot.
Yeah, Rajai Davis wasn't having it. First pitch fastball jumps all over and hits this ball hard, so hard. And it is a two-seam fastball to start the game off here for Andrew Kasher. Delano DeShields actually bobbled this ball as it got out there really quick, and saw Rajai Davis take a pretty big turnaround first, but made the smart move and did not try to advance.
So he's on for Ryan Healy, .248 batting average for Healy. Healy, we mentioned a guy who has at times been trouble for the Rangers. And that last homestand, this an offense that really has not clicked lately. But he was 6 for 19, a couple of home runs in 4 games on their last homestand. So maybe coming back out of it just a touch.
And last time when we were in Oakland, right, and Ryan Healy was in a position where he was really struggling, and they gave him a couple of days off. But remember, he had those 2 big pinch hits early in the season against the Rangers and really seemed to kind of get it going from there.
1-1 the count on Healy. Lifetime, he hits .324 against the Rangers. And a little bit of power. Bob Melvin, their manager, navigating some choppy waters this beginning of the season pretty well. As mentioned, just 2 games under 500 at 16-18. 7.5 out in the West. And this is a team that has scuffled in any number of ways, whether that be defensively, offensively. They've had a lot of moving parts in their rotation.
You mentioned it, trying to navigate, mix and match, get the most out of this roster that you possibly can. Bob Melvin, of course, has been doing it for a long time now at the big league level as both a coach and a manager. It's not that fun. You'd like to have that steady group, but sometimes managers have to work a little bit harder than others, and they've just made some changes. Sean Manaea now will be coming back off the DL. That'll be a big one for them on Monday. But Jarrell Cotton, who we saw throw the ball pretty well down to the minor league. So like you said, some changes in the rotation, moving guys in and out. Mentioned that time that he gave Ryan Healy off. Since those a couple of days where he just pinch hit against the Rangers. 276 with 4 home runs. Over 76 at bats, so they got to be pretty happy with that production.
Runner going, pitches outside, and the throw down, not in time. Davis, one of the speedsters on this Oakland team, his 5th stolen base.
And Rugen Odor wants the Rangers to take a look at this and see if he got that tag on Rajai Davis's foot before his hand got there. It's a pretty good lead from Rajai. You mentioned it. Good runner has been over the course of his career. We couldn't see it there. We knew that he tagged him. It's just a matter of was the hand there, and I've got to believe that this one will be challenged. I got to think there's a really good chance here that the Rangers will try to get this thing reversed.
Adam Warren in the clubhouse taking as many looks as he can as quickly as he can, and does relay the message. Jeff Bannister is going to challenge this one.
See the tag right there, and based on the views that we saw, I got to believe this thing is going to get turned around. I got to tell you what, I give these guys credit. Rugen Odor popped up and says, you know, take a look. You're like, oh, come on, he beat it, right? I mean, you watch it, it looked like he got in there, but these guys know, man. I mean, sometimes you feel like they're doing it just because they want the runner to be out, or in the case where they're called out, they want to be safe. So, hey, check it. I think I was safe, and kind of roll your eyes a little bit, but Rugen Odor's got a really good case here.
The Rangers are on a little bit of a run this way too. I mean, the last road trip, some really good reviews, and then lately, I mean, they've been very close, but they've gotten a lot of calls go their way. And take another look at Bob Melvin now in his 6th year. And for all the challenges of managing in Oakland, he's had a nice little run. 3 postseason appearances. All right, that didn't take long, and he is out. So a great challenge.
See Rajai Davis, the stunned look. He was not expecting that call to come. Very good usage of the instant replay there by the Rangers.
So Lucroy gets the caught stealing. Count 2-2 on Healy. Now, without replay, how many times out of 10 is that called safe out there?
9.5, maybe.
Yep.
I mean, he did look safe watching it live. And as much as we don't love that it takes a little bit more time and it does slow down the pace of play and that adds to the length of games, at the end of the day, you'd still rather have it right. It matters. Say, first inning, is it a big deal? It is a big deal. They're on second base
with nobody out.
Yeah, it matters.
2 balls, 2 strikes to Healy. And a little tapper. That's going to be a tough play, though. Charging Gallo, and a great dig at first by Napoli. They get Healy 2 away.
Great play.
And Healy's already saying, oh, he was off the bat.
Right, Joey Gallo, everybody wants a look here. And this might be more of a case of Ryan Healy hoping that Mike Napoli's off the bat. But look at the bare hand by Joey Gallo. Nice wide hand as that ball's coming to him. And Mike Napoli appears to be holding the bag. Healy, not a great runner. That is for sure. Let's take a look, by the way, at the Rangers defense, which is delivered to you by the Texas Department of Transportation and Impaired Driving. There's Joey Gallo at third base. We mentioned him in that really good play that he just made Andrew Cashner, of course, on the mound. Mike Napoli has done a nice job of digging some balls out this year. He's been pretty consistent over there. But Joey Gallo also playing some nice defense at third. Not easy. And I think it's important to note when you're watching guys make that bare hand play. See how wide he got his hand, right? Obviously, you have no glove, you're going bare hand. You get that hand as wide as you possibly can, as we see Adrian Beltre, one of the best ever to play that position.
Whoa. Bat launched. 1-1 to count on Alonso.
Good launch angle. That
pretty good
bat. We talk about Yonder and what's changed with him, and a lot more fly balls now with the course of his career. So we'll see a little bit of an uppercut here and go ahead and let that fly with it. Not too bad. 1.5 turns before it got there, probably. Way out front.
It's been right there at 4.
Oh yeah, it looked like it might have went around 4 times. It's great. You ever see when they get stuck in there?
Yeah.
Saw that. I did a game with it was last year. Buster Posey threw it back, got stuck up in the net. They didn't have time to grab a ladder and go get it, so they actually kept playing while the bat sat there for a couple of pitches.
1-1. And Alonso lifts this one way up in the air. It'll pop up out into shallow right field. Odor is there, and that will end the inning. A 3-batter inning for Oakland. Nicely done by Andrew Cashner. Now the Rangers come to bat. For Oakland. Here come the Rangers, 16 and 20. And we'll take a look at our Southwest starting lineup. Shin-Soo Choo back in the leadoff spot against the right-hander. Andrus and then Nomar Mazara. Lucroy, Odor, Mike Napoli, the hero from last night with a couple of home runs. Carlos Gomez drops to 7th in the order. Gallo 8th. And Delano DeShields with his good speed batting 9th tonight. Choo is the DH. Brings a .259 average, but a .371 on base percentage. And he's hacking.
Shin-Soo Choo has been swinging the bat much better than what we saw at the beginning of the year. I think it's fair to say that it'll be a little bit of an adjustment period for him, taking on the DH role much more than he has before in his career. Still getting in the field once in a while. I think it keeps him sharp, keeps him engaged, but he has been very good as of late. You see the on-base percentage there, not too far off at all from where he usually is.
Bouncer over to second, and Lowry is there, one away.
The Rangers will be going up against Jesse Hahn tonight. Let's take a look at what he will be featuring and what he has featured so far this season. Two-seam fastball, very similar to what we saw when you look at the pitch breakdown with Andrew Cashner. It's a lot of ground balls from Jesse Hahn. You saw that first pitch of the game at 96 miles an hour with a really good movement. He's got plus stuff and a deep arsenal. You see the different pitches that he has there, the 4 off-speed pitches: curveball, changeup, sinker, and slider.
Well, he waits for Andrews to step in. Elvis at 277. And he starts him low. Hahn, a big guy. 6'4", 215 pounds. And a guy who has been very highly thought of over the years. He's had to deal with some injuries as he gets Andrews to pop this one up. And the shortstop Rosales out there on the grass makes the play 2 away. Hahn grew up in Connecticut and went to the same high school as Matt Harvey. 2 of them played basketball and baseball together. Harvey was the super stud baseball player, and Hahn was a much better basketball player. His parents would tell you, we thought he was going to be a college basketball player, not a baseball player.
I think it's worked out pretty well for him. You think about, we had this conversation a bunch with Nomar Mazara, right, who also loved basketball, and his dad kind of talking him out of it and saying, you know what, baseball is probably a better path, higher percentage of you being successful at professional level.
There's a line drive base hit from Mazara, cut off by Davis. Nomar will settle for the 2-out single.
And Nomar ends up winning the battle of the basketball players right there. Let's take a look at what the A's have out here tonight. They're defending against the Texas Rangers. Chris Davis, Rajay Davis. Left to right, Matt Joyce will be in right field tonight. Adam Rosales, you mentioned the shortstop, filling in until Marcus Semien gets back. And who knows when that is ultimately going to be. Semien, one of the many Oakland A's that are on the DL. It's been an issue for them. And Stephen Vogt, of course, behind the plate with Jesse Hahn.
Well, base runner in this first inning, and Jonathan Lucroy. And another good night last night. And he takes a strike. Lucroy 5 for his last 7, the last couple of games, and that has jumped his average up now to a season high 253. He's had multiple hits now in 3 of his last 4 games, so maybe he's starting to feel it a little bit, and he shoots this one down the right field line, but it slices foul.
I think so, and based on the swing that we have seen from Jonathan Lucroy, and it's kind of some interesting numbers because we saw him struggle early on, wondering kind of how he was doing, but here's a perfect example. So he's in a 2-strike count right now against a right-handed pitcher. He's putting those balls in play. Right-handed pitchers have not been able to strike him out just 4 times this year, and you look at that from a percentage standpoint to his plate appearances, that's the best in baseball against right-handed pitchers. Jonathan Lucroy striking out the lead, so he's putting the ball in play, and I think what we're seeing now is more of those balls are starting to fall in.
Takes a ball, count 1-2. Yeah, he has an absurdly high number of swings that have resulted in balls in play. Somewhere between the lines. And that was a rare foul ball. He rarely ever swings and misses this year. At one point, not that long ago, was closing in on about 80% of in plays. This one bounces up to the plate, and Mazara will scamper down to second. A wild pitch puts Mazara in scoring position now.
You watch Jesse Hahn here with 2 strikes and throwing a breaking ball and thinking maybe he could get a strikeout of Jonathan Lucroy. Nomar Mazara, really nice secondary lead, and as soon as he sees that ball is in the dirt, takes off. Great read. Just strolls right into second base.
So Mazara able to take a much bigger lead now out at second base. Won't bother keeping him close at 2-2 pitch. This is bounced down to first. Alonso has it. Hahn covers, and the inning is over. So the Rangers leave a man in scoring position. We've played an inning, no score.
Park in Arlington, the opener between the A's and the Rangers, and the starting pitching for this team has really kept this thing afloat considering the struggles to start this 2017 season. Spoke with catcher Jonathan Lucroy about what has been the key to their second best earned run average in the bigs, which is 3.38. He said, look, a lot of it is the communication, not only between the catchers, Robinson and myself, and the pitching staff, but also the communication that they're having with each other during games, in between starts, and really kind of feeding off of each other. So that those numbers definitely have worked thus far, and that communication level improving has helped those numbers, guys.
Now, no doubt about that.
Yes.
Quick fly out for Chris Davis, by the way, always critical.
The communication, you see the guys sitting together, but also sitting with the catcher as well. And Nick Martinez, A.J. Griffin, Robinson Chirinos. So communication is so important. Listen, you get to this level and you got a lot of talent. There's no doubt about it. But it is nice to be able to have your brothers to be able to count on, to talk you through some things, whether it's a guy who has a ton of experience or not. I mean, it's nice to have the veteran guys, you know, Cole Hamels around, but also just having other guys that you know are invested in your success, that they actually care about you, and you can bounce stuff off, and you can be honest with them and tell them what you're feeling. And who knows, it could be something as simple as changing a pitch grip or picking something up, but communication is so huge.
Well, pop up and foul ground, and Gallo almost had it, lost it at the last second. A little over the shoulder basket style catch.
Delano got a laugh at it because it looked like he almost toss that ball up in there. That's what Elvis Andrus is saying to him. He's saying, man, I see you bobbling it. Well, go ahead and just hit it up in the air. One of us will get it if you can't catch it, because that almost happened here. Good job by Joey Gallo to get there. 1 shot, 2 shots, and almost. That's a tough one. You see a little bit of the frustration there, and now a big smile. And Joey Gallo and Elvis, he knows that's a tough play to make. But he thought, hey, man, just hit it in the air. I'll catch it.
Of course, and he took a hit from that tarp, too. 1-1, and this one bounced up the middle, and Odor can't quite get to it, so Lowry is on with 1 out in the 2nd inning.
I think I might be more worried about that tarp than I would be Joey Gallo. That's a big man down there running in the. Here's some tears coming out of that thing.
So man on, 1 out for Stephen Vogt. It was a no play, by the way, not an error or anything like that on that pop-up, but you know, it extended the at-bat.
Sure.
And Lowry was able to convert it into a hit now, so he's on. Not a real threat to go anywhere. And the pitch to Vogt, taken for a strike. Cashner, 30 years old, and this his 6th start of the season. Well, his last one was great. 6 scoreless innings, walked the first and only batter he faced in the 7th inning. That guy would ultimately come around to score. And the only blemish on an otherwise terrific line against those Seattle Mariners. Not worried about Lowry. Misses outside to Vogt. It's 2-1.
And Stephen Vogt, one of 4 lefties that Andrew Cashner will see tonight. Jed Lowry, of course, is the switch hitter, but because of the really good 2-seam fastball, Andrew Cashner's got some very interesting splits. 176 batting average against left-handed hitters, 244 against righties. So he's actually been better against lefties this year. And that has everything to do with the really good run that he gets on that 2-seam fastball.
Just about got Vogt to go after that last pitch, but he held off on a ball. Couple of hits so far for Oakland. And a big 3-1 to Vogt. And he lifts it out toward left center. To Shields. Over. And there are 2 out.
I think the one thing that the Rangers would love to see from Andrew Cashner is just cutting down the walks. The strikeouts are never going to be high, right? When you have sinker ball pitchers that predominantly use a 2-seam fastball, you're not going to see a lot of high strikeouts, and that's okay. But the flip side of that is that the walks are going to be a little bit higher. And the idea here for Andrew Cashner is if he can get those under command just a little bit better, you like his chances of kind of locking down that first one. He's been good, no doubt about it this year, but there's certainly some room for a little bit of improvement on those walks right now. The rate a little bit high.
He misses to Trevor Plouffe. Plouffe batting .229. Well, you know, when he came up as a reliever with the Cubs, and he was throwing 98 to 100 miles an hour. I mean, just big country strong, and he was a little bit more of a strikeout guy. But when he was traded to San Diego, they saw a starter in him, and they thought, well, here's a big strong guy who let's move past, lighten up the gun, and let's see if we can use that strength to go multiple innings and become a good starter. And he's tweaked the game just a little bit. 2-0. And he finds a corner.
Yeah, the idea of him living at that velocity as a starter is unrealistic, and I think he has found his way. Again, you know, it's kind of a deliberate, you know, delivery with him, some timing between pitches, but he, you know, just kind of slow plays you a little bit. Mixing that 2-seam fastball, we saw the rest of the deep repertoire, but being a little bit more dependent on his defense is part of the goal here for Andrew Cashner, the way that he approaches his games.
He's fallen behind a couple hitters in this 2nd inning. A 3-1 count on Plouffe. Lowry again with a base hit over at first, not going anyplace. This one bounced to shortstop. Andrews with a good flip to second, and that will end the inning. So he played 1.5. Mike Napoli, last night's hero. He'll be due up second when we come back. here tonight as we go to the bottom of the second inning. It'll be Odor, Napoli, and Gomez in the second against Jesse Hahn. Opening game in this series with the Oakland A's on a beautiful Friday night. And Hahn up and out with ball 1 to Odor. Hahn's got some pretty good velocity.
He does, and he's trying to go in there on Odor, and he missed so poorly on the outside part of the plate. You just wonder if he's a little bit anxious about getting that fastball in. Small margin for error when you go inside on Odor.
2-0 the count.
That's why, sometimes one of my pet peeves, and I got a pretty long list of them, but there's in that situation, right, missed the spot pretty badly. It happens, everybody does it, but it didn't cost Jesse Hahn anything, right? So you hear something say after a game, well, only made one mistake. Like if a guy hits, one home run, that was, only made one mistake. Well, not really. He had a lot of mistakes, but there's only one mistake that somebody capitalized on, right? It's a story that you hear that is often told that is false.
His 3-0 pitch. And he walks Odor on 4 pitches. Well, there you go. Odor's 7th walk of the year, and he is on to start the second inning. All right, our TXU Energy power player to watch. No surprise here. Mike Napoli, multi-homer game last night. His first as a Ranger since 2012.
He's got the right uniform on to do it, right? Want to go multi-home runs. We certainly want to see Mike Napoli wearing the Rangers uniform when he does it. I found this interesting today looking up some information on him. He is just one of 5 big league hitters so far this year that has at least 4 home runs on fastballs 94 miles an hour and harder. So even though he's been scuffing a little bit, we know he is still getting to the good fastballs. Now I say that because it's a good matchup as well with Jesse Hahn, who has a good live fastball, who lives at 94 and over at times with some good run. But there's only been 5 guys that have hit 4 home runs or more on fastballs 94 and higher, and Mike Napoli is one of them.
It's a good fastball there, but laid off, 1-1. Yeah, what is the line for a really good fastball? You say 94 higher. I mean, that could be an arbitrary cutoff.
I like that one somewhere in there, 94, 95. I mean, you start getting up to the really big numbers, you're not going to find too many guys that are hitting multiple home runs off of 97 and 98. Those numbers are going to be pretty low by the end of the season. But I think, like you said, it is an arbitrary number. Here's the other thing, too, is all fastballs are not created equal, right? 194 may look like somebody else's. 94 looks a little bit different, whether it's movement, the way it comes out of your hand. Does the guy hide the ball? Does it have high spin rate? Yada, yada, all the different things. So when we use velocity, yeah, you do have to be a little bit careful. All fastballs are not created equal.
Strike that time makes it 1-2.
I mean, what do we see from Clayton Richard yesterday, right? I mean, just painting on the corner, left and right, never missing on the corner. So you say, well, he was 88 to 91. Those guys got to be able to hit that, right? Well, not when it's, on the corner every single time and it's got good run on it. So the velocity itself, it's a cool number to look at, but it definitely does not tell the entire story.
Well, check in on Odor. I think the fastball that sticks out to me back in the day, and I'm back in the day, this was not that long ago, but Kyle Farnsworth in the National League saw him a lot. And he threw hard.
Yes, he did.
But boy, it was straight and not very deceiving because guys used to turn it around a lot. At least it seemed like it.
Well, I think it seems like it too because you're kind of in awe of it when it happens. I played with Matt Anderson in Detroit years ago, and he was one of, I don't want to say one of the first triple-digit guys, but one of the ones that you started noticing a lot more. And I remember seeing him throw a 102-mile-an-hour fastball. That was a big deal. I know we see Aroldis Chapman has kind of ruined that now for the rest of us and everybody else coming forward. But there will be times where you see hitters squaring up 98, 99, 100. And say, what's going on here, man? How is that possible? And for whatever reason, certain guys could see it better than others.
Well, a scoreless start to this one. Napoli yesterday, Rangers are being shut out, and he homered to lead off the 8th inning. That was huge. Made it a 2-1 game. Then came up with the game tied in the 9th and hit the 3-run homer to win it. And fouls this one off. So this was last night. Some pretty good swings.
Yeah, very good swings from Mike Napoli. You're just not going to get away with mistakes like that. That was kind of a little get me over Cutter first pitch. He doesn't wait around. And then last night, 3-1 count, fastball count. Brandon Maurer does not want to walk him in that situation. So Mike Napoli got it started early, got the foot down. You hear that phrase a lot. Right on time, and hammered that fastball into the second deck.
Yeah, not a lot of question when it left the bat. 2-2.
So that's what, 2 diamond level home runs, correct? We've seen this year.
Well, we've seen 3, 2 of them by the Rangers.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah, we don't care about the other guys. Yeah, correct me on that. I don't care about other people hitting them up there. That's not fun. I don't want to remember that. I want to remember Carlos Gomez's bomb, and then Mike Napoli's last night.
And Miguel Sano, who's the one.
When you count that one.
It doesn't count.
It doesn't count.
Okay.
Because I didn't care about it, and I wish it didn't happen.
Yeah, there was the first of the year right there, 462 feet by Gomez.
That was, how about we say, that was about 3 or 4 rows up there, wasn't it?
Oh yeah.
It was fun to watch. For Carlos too. He enjoyed watching that one, I think, as much as we did, maybe more.
Payoff pitch. Runner goes. Napoli goes as well. The throw goes into center field. And so Odor heads to third. A stolen base and an E2. And with 1 out, Odor now just 90 feet away.
This throw was not even remotely close. I'm not sure what happened here with Steven Grohl, but first you're going to see the jump here from Rugen Odor. Pretty good one. Mike Napoli tried to check his swing. He could not. And this ball was just absolutely launched into center field. And like you said, Odor easily gets to third base.
So now everybody has to come in on the edge of the grass, as they will try and cut down Odor. On and a breaking ball grounded to short. Odor headed to the plate. The throw comes as well, and he is out. So he was going all the way. Rosales guns him down easily. 6-2 the put out, and Gomez on via the fielder's choice.
I don't mind this play at all. It is the contact play. There's different ways that you handle this when you're a runner on third base. And so the Rangers decided that they wanted Odor to go on contact. He did exactly that. Now the ball was hit right at Rosales. It really is amazing, right? We saw one last night as well. Remember when Ibar was in and caught that ball, and it's incredible to think you hit the ball right at guys, but it does happen even with the infield in. But the Rangers wanted to take the chance, and I'm okay with it. Sometimes you say, all right, go on contact. Sometimes you say, see the ball through, make sure it gets through before you go, whatever it may be. But with Joey Gallo on deck, right, we know there's been some swing and miss there with Joey. I think they wanted to go ahead and take that chance and saying, Carlos Gomez up, let's go on contact and try to force the A's to make a good play, and Adam Rosales did.
So now 2 out, and this ball shot out toward right field, but hangs up for Joyce. Nice play out there in right. Rangers leave a man, and we go to the third inning, no score.
Pleased to be joined by the mayor of Arlington here on Arlington Night, Jeff Williams. You arranged this night. It's Arlington Night and Texas Tech Night.
Well, it is just a coincidence, but it's a dream night for me, being a Tech alum and also an Arlington citizen. So we got the best of both worlds here.
And such cool things going on, obviously, between the Rangers and the city of Arlington. The new stadium, which is set to open in 2020. Texas Live, which is set to open next season. Where do you want to start?
Well, let's start with Texas Live because it's opening up next year, and it is going to be a world-class entertainment complex that people are going to be coming from everywhere to come to. It's going to be so much fun. And then two years later, we are going to have the best ballpark in the major leagues, and we're going to see some really neat things happen right here in the ballpark in Arlington.
Obviously, the relationship between the Rangers and the city of Arlington is an invaluable one for both sides, isn't it?
It really is, and in fact, the Rangers are just a part of our city. They're a part of the fabric of our community, and so we're so excited to be having them here till 2054.
When you look at the way that this franchise has grown, especially over the last, say, 7-8 years, what's it been like for you to watch and have a front row seat?
Well, it's an amazing thing. This ownership team, the front office, the players, it has turned into one of the top major league franchises, and that is such a change that we've seen transforming our city, too.
Well, thank you so much for the time. We appreciate, obviously, what all the city of Arlington has done and continues to do for the Rangers organization.
Well, thank you, Emily, and it's awesome to be talking to a fellow Tech alum, too.
Absolutely. Get your guns up, everybody, here on Texas Tech Night. Guys?
Hey, thank him for the weather tonight, too, Emily.
Yeah, really good job on the weather as well. How about that?
Oh, my goodness. Isn't that awesome that happened?
He's got it all working for him, guys.
I'm telling you.
Well, things, when these things are working for you, you better take advantage of it. Hadn't you, Emily? We've all seen it, but... And no kidding, this ownership team is just remarkable. And then you add in John Daniels, Jeff Bannister, exciting things that are happening here.
I like the way you think. We appreciate the time.
Well, thank you, Emily.
All right, great job, Emily. And again, thanks to the mayor. Nice job. Pop up down the left field line. That one just into foul ground, and Joyce retired for the first out of the third inning.
The mayor's absolutely right. The idea, and if you haven't seen it, go check out the renderings of Texas Live and what that is going to be all about. That is going to be incredible. I actually got to take a look because this is kind of the trend of what's happening now in baseball, what they're doing with the new ballparks. Right, St. Louis has was a Cardinals Live and everything else that they have going on around downtown. It's really neat if you've ever been there. I was able to check out what the Braves are doing at SunTrust. They have this area called the Battery, which is the same kind of idea, same concept of what's happening around the stadium, and everything there is not complete yet, but you get it. I mean, it is just the idea of kind of an all-inclusive. Go down early, hang out late, whatever it may be, because everything that's going to be happening around the stadium is going to be worth visiting. But the renderings just look really incredible. It's going to be quite a place to visit and to be, and like I said, pre and post game, and maybe even in between if you're not coming to the ballpark.
No doubt, no doubt, year round. And work already underway. Ground has been broken. New ballpark coming in 2020, and parts of Texas Live, no doubt, will be on the way. Even prior to that, as Rosales fouls one off with the count 0-2. Third inning, no score, and not a shocker with these two pitchers. Cashner and Hahn, they don't get run support as a general rule. They're both good pitchers. The reality is they're used to pitching in games with very few runs on the board. Two-strike pitch. And there's a strikeout of Rosales. First strikeout tonight for Andrew Cashner. All right, time for us to take a Chevy game break. Let's send it back to Dana Larson.
Center fielder Monte Davis.
All right, thanks, Dana. Amazing. They just keep cruising, man.
Playing some good baseball right now, no doubt about that. Now, real quick, getting back to what you're talking about with that run support.
Yeah.
And there's no conclusions to draw. They're not bad guys. Their teammates don't hate them or anything. It just kind of happens. We were talking about it with Jeff Bannister the other day, and he's the same way. Now check this out and look at the Rangers pitchers, because there's quite the contrast this year. A.J. Griffin, That's a ridiculous number. He's getting 11 runs of support per game. Cole Hamels is 8th right now. He still qualifies. This is among qualified big leaguers, but Andrew Kasher and Martin Perez, this is out of 137 qualified starters, are near the bottom, and they're good guys, so it can't be that.
Roller up the middle, cut off by Andrews, and that'll complete a 1-2-3 inning for Cashner. He's got it going so far tonight. Let's see if the offense can support him. You haven't missed much yet. Just some good pitching. And tomorrow night, Rangers and A's, second game of the series. First 15,000 fans will be treated to an Elvis Andrus High Five bobblehead presented by Dr. Pepper and Tom Thumb. It's the first in a series of 2 high-fiving bobbleheads. And you can get your tickets at TexasRangers.com or by calling 972-RANGERS. And they make people happy.
They do. Oh, I love that. Perfect. What is one glove on, glove off? Did you notice that?
I didn't notice.
So one of those hands was red. I wonder if they had the...
Wearing the red batting glove?
Yeah. Yeah, kind of a... I don't want to say that it comes off, because I don't think it can it? But that would look pretty cool if you could do that.
I mean, it can't come off the bobblehead.
No. But I'm telling you, unless I'm losing my mind, one of those bobbleheads had a glove on and one didn't.
Could be something going on there. It's a check swing. No. Stu Surewater down at first. So that Delano held back. Delano batting 9th tonight against the right-hander. And he shoots this one through into right field, a base hit.
Am I losing my mind here?
Well, you very well might, but let's take a look.
No.
Okay, batting glove on the left.
Yeah.
No batting glove on the right.
I like it. Very nice. So you have the option there. Well, those are 2 different bobbleheads. That's what got me.
Tomorrow's the first in a series of 2. So we'll see tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow's batting glove high five, or maybe it's not. We'll see. All right, so here's Chu now. So with a right-hander, and we're starting to see this emerge as a bit of a pattern for Jeff Bannister, that he has Delano batting 9th against righties and Chu leading it off. Now when there's a lefty, then Delano seems that he's sliding into that leadoff spot, and Chu moving into a different portion of the lineup, oftentimes second. I would say the one thing about that, though, for me, is that when you start seeing a tendency, a pattern in terms of lineup construction, it feels like a good sign to me. Like Banny's getting comfortable with certain guys anyway in certain roles, because that's been a bit of a struggle.
I think you're right. We've seen a lot of movement with the lineup and trying to find out, which is going to work, or just trying to go with the hot hand. Right, we saw Chu drop down the lineup for a little while as he was struggling, and now he seems like he's back to his old self. So you feel comfortable putting him at 1 or 2, depending on what you have from an opposing pitcher. But I like it when, again, whenever you can have a guy that could lead off like Delino DeShields could, and you bat him ninth. He ends up serving as leadoff hitter anyway here in the 3rd inning.
Oh, this one shot down the left field line, but slices foul. Boy, that one had a lot of trouble written all over it for the A's. You got that speed over there at first and DeShields, and you get one down the line, and you almost assume he will score. Now that may not have worked out, but that was going to be kind of exciting. DeShields with 6 steals this year, 5th in the American League. Hahn trying to hold him. Uh-oh. Picks over there and almost got him. Wow.
You see Delino saying something there that he did not see. Now he's probably thinking, was this a balk move? We'll see. He gets back and see how he also dives to the outside part of the bag. Of course, that gives you as much time as possible to say, well, what's a balk move with a right-handed pitcher, and what you're looking for, and what Delino DeShields and every good base runner is keeping an eye on is that front leg of the right-handed pitcher. Because once that knee breaks a little bit, the assumption is he has to pitch home. Well, the balk move is where you flinch that leg ever so slightly and then step off with your back leg. And that's how you kind of trick a base runner. Anyone that doesn't see something or is a little bit late against the righty, more often than not, that's what they're going to be talking about, is that front knee just kind of twitches a little bit when they step over and throw over.
Chu chases strike 3. 1 away. All right, Elvis Andrus striding to the plate, and he gives us a chance to check in with Emily Jones.
Yeah, Elvis has been perhaps the most consistent offensive performer thus far this season. I talked to him today about how he's been able to be so effective, and he said he learned a lot about himself last season, putting together probably the best of his career. And he said the thing that he took most from last season was to, even when you're struggling, remember to compete. That regardless of what you're doing at the plate or in the field, production-wise, you have to remember to compete. And he said it sounds strange, but it's something I really did learn last year. And now when I go through struggles, I just remember to always compete. So winning combination, State Farm winning combination for Elvis Andrus is simply remembering to compete, guys.
That's a good point. And it's something like Emily said, maybe it sounds simple, but when you're struggling a little bit, you start thinking about mechanics, you start maybe guessing on pitches, and thoughts start going through your head of how can I get out of this? Well, you got to put that stuff aside, and you just have to go out and you compete, and you try to have a clear head. And competing and just focusing on trying to win or win that at bat or whatever it may be is a really smart way to try to get out of any struggles that you may be having.
Well, his average at 275 now. He did pop up in the first, 0 for 1 tonight. DeShields not going. Bouncer shortstop. Rosales to second for the 1 and over to first in time. Double play. Well, it looked like it stuck in Lowry's glove, but still able to turn it and get the speedy Andrus. Inning over. We go to the 4th. No score. Top of the fourth we go. Hey, Rangers fans, download the Fox Sports Go app and take Rangers baseball with you wherever you go. If you can't catch the games on TV, you can still stream them live on your mobile device with the Fox Sports Go app presented by Hyundai. All right, 2, 3, and 4 do this inning for Oakland. Ryan Healy grounded out in the first inning. He hit the slow bouncer to third and watched as Joey Gallo made a really nice barehanded grab. And then Napoli helped him out on the other end by digging a ball in the dirt. This one popped up out into right field. Mazzara is there. 1 out.
First baseman Yonder Alonso.
Now Alonso, who popped up in the first. And this is the guy we highlighted at the beginning. Alonso with 5 home runs in his last 5 games, 11 for the season, and that is a new career high for him. It's May 12th.
Well, this has been interesting from Yonder Alonso, and take a look at how he's gotten there. 9 of those 11 home runs have come on fastballs. He has actually struggled against the off-speed pitches, especially the slider and the curveball from right-handed pitchers. So it would not be surprising at all to see Andrew Cashner use that a little bit. You see a changeup there as well, but trying to stay away from the fastball. Doesn't mean you can't throw it. Just that means you have to be a little bit careful with where you throw it here in the case of Yonder Alonso. 8 for 18 this year on the right-handed two-seam fastball, which of course is kind of the bread and butter for Andrew Cashner. Was hitting .444 against that pitch this year, strictly from batting average. He's been good on the fastball, but the slider has been an issue. So far we've seen Cashner work the off-speed pitches a little bit more.
Got him to spoil that two-seam fastball. And now the 1-2. This one flared foul out of play.
With the fly ball rate, I mentioned it in the open, is up over 20%. 20% more of the batted balls that he hits are in the air now as fly balls compared to what he has done over the course of his career. And it's not just a matter of taking a bigger hack and having a little bit more of an uppercut, but something that he's been working on and turning those fly balls into home runs. It's got some help from Carlos Beltran. We talked about that the other night, which
that's odd to me. That strikes me as really different.
It is. I mean, it's strange to, guys talk to each other all the time, but the fact that that got out there and it became public, and you got to believe that maybe A.J. Hinch doesn't love that.
This one just foul. Whew. Alonso immediately threw his arms up in the air and then asked his manager, looked to his manager, who has run out to chat about that with Lance Barrett, our plate umpire.
This play is not reviewable. Anything in front of the base. Now the ball landed fair. You see Alonso come out of the box feeling good about the fact that that was fair, but the judgment call there is what did that ball do as it went over and past first base, and they believe that was foul. Nothing in front of the bag is reviewable for fair and foul. Anything after the bag is reviewable.
Not even that man's call. Surewater, he has to wait until it passes the bag. It's the plate umpire, Lance Barrett, who gets to make the call in front of the bag. 2-2 pitch. Just missed. So a full count on Alonso, and this is the ticklish part of this lineup. Alonso, Chris Davis, who has been a Rangers killer the last couple of years. 9th pitch of the at bat, and it misses, and Alonso will take the walk. First walk tonight issued by Cashner. Well, MLB.TV Premium is back and better than ever. You can watch every out-of-market regular season game live on over 400 supported devices. Plus, get a free subscription to At Bat Premium, the #1 app for live baseball. Blackout and other restrictions do apply. Go to MLB.TV for details. Well, a man on here for the Oaklands. And big Chris Davis. Davis 0 for 1, flied out in the second inning.
He has struggled as of late. You see the batting average that came down. The home run production has come down a little bit over his last 18 games. 64 plate appearances, 64 at bats. 30 strikeouts in that time, and he's hitting just 156. Now, like you said, he's been very good against the Rangers. So when you're slumping, the idea of going up against a team that you've been very comfortable against is something that's encouraging to him. But he has struggled as of late. So the Rangers will try to take advantage of that. He flew out to right field back in the second inning, and maybe this is that series where they catch him where he's off, because he has not been very good as of late.
Floats this one out to right field. Mazzara is there for it, and that is out number 2. So Cashner doing a good job of avoiding trouble with those two. And now we'll do battle with Jed Lowry. Pitch count already over 50 though for Cashner. Lowry got him for a base hit back in the second inning. One of 2 hits tonight for Oakland. Rangers have 2 hits so far tonight as well. Lowry not a big guy. A switch hitter. Middle infielder who is maybe a little bit limited defensively, and especially in terms of range. But despite not being a big guy, he's got some pretty sneaky power. When he hits this ball hard out to right center field, it drops in. Gomez able to cut it off. Alonso to third. He does not have good speed. They will stop him there. So with 2 outs, Alonso leaving first base. He really did not get close to being waived.
No, well, I'll tell you what, Chip Hale was waiting and waiting, and I think he was anticipating, based on the timing, that he felt like maybe Alonso would have been able to score, but he realizes that not a great runner. You see the swing here by Lowry. Nice one as he drills this ball into the right center gap. But Carlos Gomez does a nice job of cutting this ball off, getting it in quickly. Really important. You see Alonso, like you said, not very fast. Chip Hale with a late hold up there. But you have that internal clock. Whether you're a player, whether you're a coach, pitchers, all the internal clock, and you have an idea about how long certain plays should take. And that felt like one where Alonso should have scored, I'm sure, for Chip Hale. But you got to know your runners, and you realize he's not going to make it. It's not happening in time. And watching Carlos Gomez get that ball in the way that he did, Chip Hale decided it was not worth the risk, even with 2 outs, to try to bring Alonso home.
Vogt is 0 for 1. And he jumps ahead here. 2 balls, no strikes. Left-handed batter. Vogt, it's been a struggle. Average at 202. And the on-base average not much better at 230.
And this has been a situation where Andrew Cashner has been very good with runners in scoring position, as have the Ranger starters overall. We see that 100 batting average so far this season. Right hand in there as well from San Diego, but has done a fantastic job when he's had his back against the wall, when there have been opportunities for teams to score. The Ranger starters really across the board have gotten it done, but Andrew Cashner some really strong numbers.
Well, you combine that with what Oakland has been able to do with runners in scoring position this year, and you'd feel pretty good here, except for the fact that you never feel good with second and third. And a strike called makes it a full count. It's the 4th 3-ball count for Andrew Cashner. He was down 3-0, but has really battled back here. A's are second lowest in the American League with runners in scoring position this season. A 207 team average. They've got Alonso at third, Lowry at second, and the 3-2. This one hit hard out to right field. Mazzara going back. He is there and makes the catch. The inning is over, and Cashner dodges a bullet in the top of the 4th. Still a scoreless game, but if even Nomar Mazzara, Jonathan Lucroy, and Rougned Odor when we come back.
Childress, who was brought to her very first Rangers game by her brother Anthony. So not only are you a progressive fan of the game, but your brother might be in the running for a Brother of the Year, huh?
Yeah, he's really cool.
He must be really cool if he's bringing you your first Rangers game. Kara, congratulations. And guys, as the mother of a daughter and a son who are currently trying to kill each other on a daily basis, this gives me some hope.
Yeah, that's great right there.
Gets better as they get a little bit older.
Well, we go to the bottom of the fourth. Nobody has scored yet in this one. Nomar Mazara leading it off for the Rangers and hits this one out to left field. And Davis able to track it down, one away. Well, show your support for the Texas Rangers Foundation by attending Dinner with the Rangers on Sunday, June 18th, presented by Capital One Bank. Your dinner package includes 2 tickets to the game, a photo with Mike Napoli, an autographed baseball, and an exclusive Q&A session. Go to TexasRangers.com/foundation to purchase your tickets.
You were talking about pitch count earlier with Andrew Cashner. I mean, he's okay, 59 right now through 4, so right around that 15 per mark, you'll take it, but it pales in comparison when you look at what Jesse Hahn is doing right now after he gets that first pitch out, and now just 39 pitches for him so far through 3 1/3. So yes, you would like to see the Rangers maybe try to help get that pitch count up a little bit.
Well, base hit into left field will help. Lucroy is on. Rangers have another base runner. They've had one in every inning so far.
Jonathan Lucroy is just feeling it right now and looks very comfortable at the plate and continues to stay hot. And this is a breaking ball that stays up in the zone. Jonathan does a nice job of staying on. And we mentioned it earlier. A lot of his hits have been up the middle and the other way. But you get that breaking ball, it's a little bit harder to drive opposite field, especially when it's hanging like that. That's certainly one that you want to try to pull if the pitcher leaves it up in the zone the way that Jesse Hahn did.
Here's Odor. He walked in the second inning and eventually was gunned down between third and home. He hits this ball hard out to right field, but hanging up for Joyce, and he'll come in and make the catch. 2 away. I said hit hard. It didn't go very far at all. It took a big swing.
Big swing, sounded pretty decent, but it looks like ultimately Odor got that off the end of the bat and it kind of floated and died once it got up in the air. But it's easy to get fooled on those because he swings hard all the time, right? A lot of the guys in the Rangers lineup will take big hacks, and so it's easy to kind of get fooled, especially from up here. Sometimes we get a little bit thrown off with our depth perception, but it did look good at first when it came off the bat, but I think Rugi caught that off the end.
Here's Napoli. He swung hard a couple of times last night. 2 home runs yesterday for Napoli, including the 3-run homer to win the game. It's the third walk-off win for the Rangers last night. 5-2 the final score over the Padres, which technically was a sweep of that 2-game series here in Arlington, but you want to think of it more as a 4-game series, and they took 3 of 4.
They'll take it. Jeff Bannister talked about that early on when there were some struggles here with the Rangers about that cliche of taking it a series at a time, but just trying to win each series. You're not going to win every one, but you look at it, I think I like that goal. You keep it a little bit smaller. I've been on teams where that's been the focus before. Sometimes we kind of drop the first one pretty consistently, but just try to win the series, win the next 2, whatever it may be. And those are small victories along the way, and you do that enough times, and at the end of the year you find yourself with 90+ wins and most likely finding yourself in the postseason.
2-strike pitch to Napoli. He didn't chase that one. 1-2 the count. Rangers currently 16 wins, 20 losses, and they're 8.5 back in the West Division. Hans 1-2, and he strikes out Napoli to end the inning. So the Rangers get another base runner, but leave another base runner. We've played 4 tonight at Globe Life. No score. Limited baseball break brought to you by T-Mobile. Some news and notes around the league. Familia with the arterial clot in his right shoulder, and that's bad news. I mean, that we're talking surgery and possibly a shutdown for Familia. Zach Greinke gave up the hit, the home run to Gregory Polanco last night, but still 11 strikeouts in 8 innings. And Jason Vargas is the best pitcher on the planet.
And as much as we talk about the Kansas City Royals and all the players, position players that I have available, potentially available, if they don't get it turned around, Eric Hosmer and Mike Moustakas, Lorenzo Cain, maybe Alcides Escobar, Jason Vargas may be a target. Another guy who's a free agent at the end of the year that I'm sure the Royals would take some calls on because they will likely be getting them if he continues to pitch the way he has so far this year.
Well, right now, yeah, he would bring a king's ransom, it would seem. Trevor Plouffe at the plate, 0 for 1. Bottom third of the order for Oakland in this 5th inning. Plouffe, Joyce, and Rosales. Andrew Cashner letting loose 2-1 and dumps it in there. So just another day at the office for Andrew Cashner, pitching really well, but no runs on the scoreboard behind him, and the 2-2. And I will say, you know, you touched on it earlier. The fact that he hasn't gotten any run support this year, okay. But it's weird when you look back over his career and realize that he has always been this guy. He just doesn't get runs. Ground ball short. Nice play by Andrews. Spins and throws and gets Plouffe easily for out number 1.
Very nice play here by Elvis Andrews. And you know you have to be on your toes with Andrew Cashner pitching. You're going to get a lot of ground balls. Does a nice job fielding that, spinning, and making a perfect throw to Mike Napoli in plenty of time.
Beautiful setting sun off in the west. On a gorgeous night. It was 79 degrees at game time tonight. Had a spectacular evening yesterday. What a way to begin this homestand. Oakland here all weekend, Monday an off day, and then a rare visit by the Philadelphia Phillies beginning Tuesday. Joyce takes upstairs. It's 2-0. Joyce fly out to left field in the 3rd inning, right down the line to Shields. Ran that down in foul ground. Wasn't a whole lot of room out there either where he caught it. Joyce ahead here, 3-0. Another 3-ball count for Cashner. I believe that his 5th of the night. And that has helped elevate the pitch count just a little bit. This next pitch will be his 70th.
Well, he's pitched around them so far. It's been just the 1 walk, and so that's the good news. But yeah, you'd love to see him stay away from that as much as possible, especially as you see a tight game. Another one for him developing, but he's gotten there. He said 5 times and only the 1 walk, at least so far. And yeah, the pitch count is up there a little bit, but not terrible if he can get through this. You know, again, 15 per inning is a pretty good number, a good goal. Anything under that, you're really doing well.
3-2 pitch. This ball hit high in the air out to right field. Mazzara back. Will he have room? He's at the wall, and it is in the seats. Just a couple of rows up. A solo home run for Matt Joyce. His 3rd of the year, and it's 1-0 Oakland.
Well, this was kind of a surprise. It looked like when Matt Joyce hit this ball that he had gotten under it, and it wasn't going to carry, but it kept going and going and going. And that was a changeup down the middle on a 3-2 count from Cashner, and Joyce does a nice job of staying back. You see that ball pop up right away. I don't think he assumed it was gone necessarily, but we know the ball carries well here in Texas when you get it up in the air to right field. I think that's what happened on that one.
So now Rosales. Joyce with just his 3rd home run. Breaks the scoring seal in this one. One and one the count on Rosales, who struck out in the 3rd. Rosales recently was on a 7-game hitting streak that came to an end on Wednesday, and just a couple of hits in their recent series against the Angels. So all of a sudden he's had a difficult time finding fair territory, and he fouls this one off to make it 2-2. Rosales, good sort of utility guy, shortstop. You can use him all over the diamond. It's just to play on a 3rd base in Cincinnati. Could do a shortstop now here in Oakland. And it's a full count. Last year, just a .229 average for Rosales. Last year was with the San Diego Padres.
He's done a pretty good job filling in here with Marcus Semien down. Of course, remember he hit that home run against Yu Darvish when we were in Oakland last time, and It's nice to have a guy who comes in and swings the bat a little bit, does a good job defensively as well. But losing your starting shortstop is not an easy thing to recover from. Most teams, you think about the skill positions up the middle, the ones that require the most range, and losing those guys to injury for any significant amount of time. Most teams are not built to have somebody to replace a shortstop or a second baseman, center fielder, catcher, and Adam Rosales, for the most part, has done a pretty nice job here for the A's.
3-2 pitch, and he sends this one out to center. Late start for Gomez, but he'd never get there, and that's a base hit. And now he took too big a turn around first and just does get back in. So Gomez is always looking for an opportunity to find guys sleeping, and almost got Rosales.
Well, that's doing your homework too, and understanding base runners and which ones are aggressive and which ones might take big turns. And you see right there, actually Carlos saw that Rosales fell down, took a run at trying to nab him after the stumble, and it was just close. Who put that base there?
Center fielder Rajay Davis.
It's good heads up by Carlos Gomez. But it becomes important, I think, outfielders and infielders for that matter, always keeping track of who may be aggressive, and it's part of the reason why Rosales stumbled right there, coming around first, not just satisfied with the base hit, but you come around first base hard in case the outfielder misplays the ball or bobbles it or whatever it may be. And aggressive base runners are ones that teams keep track of. You know, you can throw behind a guy, you might do that.
Lineup turned over now for Davis, who's 1 for 2. As it was in the first inning, he grounded out in the third. A guy with very good speed. Castro with a look at Rosales. 1-1 to Davis. We talked about a beautiful evening and a fantastic setting for baseball here tonight. Great way to get the weekend started.
Good crowd as well here on Friday. Where would you rather be on a Friday night?
Nowhere.
That was a rhetorical question.
Oh. Roller short, and Andrus will make the play to first. So they get Davis. Rosales now out at second base.
How about our AT&T matchup for tomorrow? It'll be Sonny Gray and Nick Martinez. As you see the numbers there for both of these guys, that could be at 6:30 when our coverage starts. Some similar numbers there. Both guys looking for their first win of the season. Sonny Gray, of course, I want to say the one-time ace of the A's. That might be the wrong way to put it, but he's dealt with some injuries and has not been unable to capitalize and get back to where he was a couple of years ago, where there was a lot of talk about him maybe potentially getting traded. Just take a look at Nick Martinez, getting some laughs in with Adrian Beltre. But Sonny Gray is a guy that I think the A's would have liked to have traded a while ago, but he's been unable to stay healthy. So he's kind of on the track of getting himself back to that guy that gets in the Cy Young conversation, because he's been in it before. We're going to look at him tomorrow night.
Another guy too, if he gets healthy and puts a little stretch together before the end of July.
Here you go.
Yeah. They will turn him into prospects. Bouncer shortstop again, and Andrus perfectly positioned, retires Healy. Cashner gives up the home run to Joyce. So the first run has been scored. We're halfway home. the bottom of the 5th inning. State Farm and Hunger Busters need help from Rangers fans to help fight hunger in North Texas. On May 13th, that's tomorrow, volunteers can attend an event to help make sandwiches and pack bags of non-perishables for those in need, as well as play games, listen to a live DJ, and take part in giveaways. The event is at Bab's Barbecue. And you get more information and sign up at neighborhoodofgood.statefarm.com. All right, so bottom of the 5th, Carlos Gomez shanks one foul. The count 1-1. Hopefully things turning around for Gomez here soon. And for a little more on that, what do you have, Emily?
So Carlos keeping a level head and a good sense of humor, despite his struggles. He said the other day that he felt like there was a hole in his bat, but then he told me today he feels like the hole is getting smaller. And then I always wondered, you know, when he smells his bat.
Yeah.
And so I asked him today about it, and I talked to even Rugi and Nomar about it, and they said, yeah, it smells like you know, something's burning when you hit a foul ball off of it. And Carlos said he wants to know where the foul ball went off of his bat, and because there's so many nicks on it, he smells where it hit off his bat so he can figure out where the ball was.
Oh, that's a good piece right there. See, I thought he just liked the smell of burnt wood. I mean, I knew it was the burnt wood smell.
Or he hits this one hard toward the left field corner, and with his speed, he'll have 2 easily. Big turn, but he'll be satisfied with a leadoff double in the 5th.
A good rip by Carlos Gomez. We always know this about him. He is never, ever going to get cheated on a swing, and he doesn't get cheated here. It's a 79-mile-an-hour curveball that kind of sits in the middle of the plate and hung, very similar to what we saw Jonathan Lucroy hit last inning. Carlos does a nice job pulling his ball down the left field line, and he was aggressive out of the box. And as that ball kind of sat there against the wall, he wondered, maybe 3, but no. Smart move there. S to T.
Yeah, the reverse swipe again. We've been trying to get to the bottom of this situation.
Is it a swipe right?
Well,
stage right? I don't know.
I
don't know how that works.
Gallo takes one in. I was talking to Elvis Andrus about this because in Seattle, Elvis got on, and we just happened to have the camera on him at the moment. He was standing on the base, excited about his big hit. And he did the swipe, but you'll see here in a moment, we saved it for you. There looked to be some confusion and some communication going on. Oh, pick-off play. That one gets away. Gomez is going to take off. A late jump, but he'll head to third, and he's in there.
Well, it took Carlos a minute to find out where this ball was. I was concerned because it looks like it hits him. As you see Jesse Hahn throw that ball. Actually, now it looked like it went off of Rosales' glove. We'll get a better look right here. And it did. And it just kind of caught Rosales on the heel of the glove. But at first, originally, it did kind of look like Carlos Gomez caught this ball off his body. But it took him a second to find it. And as soon as he realized he had a chance, that's a nice job of hustling to third.
Yeah, an E1, second error of the game for Oakland. And once again, the Rangers find themselves with a man at third base, less than 2 out. There's nobody out at the moment.
They're bringing the infield in again. I mean, they really believe this game is going to be that close. They don't want to give up a run to the Rangers right now, even though it's only the 5th inning and with nobody out. You know, the downside of that is if it's a routine ground ball that they cannot get to because they're in, you're just opening yourself up to a much bigger inning.
2-0 the count to Joey Gallo. That's 17 errors now in the last 15 games for Bob Melvin's team, and 34 errors for the year.
I'll tell you what, real quick, interesting to see that what they did here on the shift. Look where Adam Rosales is right now. Originally, not that long ago, he was right about here to start things off. He is moving as the count gets a little bit deeper and in the favor of Joey Gallo, and depending on what pitch they think he's going to throw.
Well, it's a walk for Gallo. All right, so this was the other day in Seattle. Elvis came up with a big hit, and then he was like, well, see, Texas, right?
Did I do it right? And look at Hector Ortiz as well.
Wrong.
That one shoulder to T. There we go, S to T. That's wrong.
Wrong.
S to T.
So
I'm saying those are wrong?
Yeah, I asked Robinson Chirinos. Actually, I asked Elvis after that day where he was kind of looking confused. He said Chirinos pointed out to them one day. He said, "All you guys, you're swiping backward. The whole point is we're saying we're Texas.
Yep.
Starts with the T, goes to the S, and he wants guys to swipe from the T to the S, but they can't seem to help themselves."
I wonder if it's because they're probably right-hand dominant.
And that's what Elvis said. He said, "I think because we're all right-handed, we all do it that way." He's like, it's really it's a challenge for us to try and turn it around.
Proving once again, lefties are the only ones that seem to have their acts together around here.
Men on the corners. 1-0 Oakland, but something brewing for the Rangers. 1-1 the count on Delano DeShields.
Now the infield, the corners are still in, but the middle is back now to try to get a double play. Here is how the A's are going to play. But what's so interesting to me about Rosales and watching him move over and over, I feel like you're tipping your hand a little bit on what pitch you're going to throw. Because yes, if you were going to shift in a perfect world, you would actually shift according to what pitch the pitcher is throwing. But you're going to give away the strategy to do that.
Good bunt coming to the plate. Gomez and his slide. He's in there. Just got a hand on the corner of the plate before the tag from Vogt.
It is fun to watch Carlos Gomez run the bases, and this is not the first time that we have seen this season, where he makes a very strong slide at home, kind of a hook slide with his hammer, goes head first and just leaves himself enough room to get his left hand in there. You see, this is a safety squeeze by Delano DeShields. Jesse Hahn does everything he possibly can, but look at this slide. No tag there, but maybe by a couple of inches, and Carlos Gomez continues to get it done on the base paths. That's a tremendous slide. Does the ball beat him? Jesse Hahn did everything he possibly could. I mean, maybe he could have made a little bit of a better toss. That's really starting to get picky, but that's on Carlos Gomez and the great head first slide, and also the great bunt by Delano DeShields. Now the Rangers, by the way, were out early today. A handful of guys were practicing their bunting, and Jeff Bannister saw that as an ideal time to try that safety squeeze.
Well, still nobody out, and the game tied at 1 on the great bunt by DeShields, and now the top of the order coming. Shin-Soo Choo 0 for 2 so far tonight. A minute first and second. Gallo does run well out there at second base. And this ball hit up the middle. Backhand stop Lowry. The flip for one. Rosales to first. Double play. With Gallo to third base. That takes a little of the steam out of the inning.
The shortstop, Elvis Andrus.
4-6-3. All right, so up to Elvis Andrus to see if he can cash in for at least one more in this 5th inning. And he takes a strike. So a leadoff double by Gomez. Gallo with a 4-pitch walk. The safety squeeze bunt single by Delano DeShields. Double play, and now it's 1-1 on Andrus.
We look at shortstops around the league that are leading their team in hits, and there's Elvis Andrus at the top, tied with Francisco Lindor. Talking about so many great shortstops around the league, and I do think nationally some people forgetting how good Elvis Andrus is and the contributions he's making here this season.
It's this one to center field. Davis coming on. He has good closing speed, and he's able to get there. Inning over, but the Rangers get the run back. They'll leave a man at third base. We played 5, tied at 1. All right, thanks, Dana. A 1-1 ball game. And here we go to the 6th. Yonder Alonso leads it off for Oakland. Chris Davis, Jed Lowry. So Cashner now with a run of support, but it's
no more complaining. That's it. Yeah. You got your run. That's it.
Well, with Alonso today, he got him to pop up. He has also walked him. Alonso's average now down to an even 300. But 11 homers and 27 RBIs, 2nd in home runs, 5th in RBIs. 10th in on base, 2nd in slugging percentage, all over the league leaders in the American League right now, having a career year.
And if you haven't seen it, it is absolutely worth checking out the story that Yonder Alonso had written for the Players Tribune, and really detailing his story and his family story, and coming over from Cuba and everything he went through, and earning the scholarship that he did at the University of Miami, getting to the big leagues. It is a tremendous story. And I think it's something that, you know, we hear everyone's got a story, right? Everyone's got a story about how they get there, and we certainly hear a lot of these stories about some of the great Cuban players that come over and some of the things that they have to go through, which is, I mean, I think it's hard for a lot of us here in the States to really even wrap our brain around. And it's a very touching story. Support of his family, his sister, who is now married to Manny Machado. Just absolutely worth your time. Make sure you check that one out.
He strikes out swinging to start the 6th. So that is the story you're talking about at the playerstribune.com. Started it with a story to his younger self, or a letter to his younger self.
Yeah, and usually those are a little overrated, to be honest with you. Some of those I read, like, you know, especially if it's the guy that was really successful. Like, what are you going to change? You know, like like Kobe Bryant, here, letter to myself. Right. Don't change anything. You did it perfect. You know, Derek Jeter, letter to my younger self. I'm not sure I'm there necessarily on that, but a guy who maybe has made some mistakes along the way, what he has learned. But the Alonso story, like I said, a great one. I wouldn't tell you and just tell you that it wasn't worth visiting. And really, I believe all players should read that. There's a lot of, listen, baseball is the most diverse sport, right, that we have, and guys come from all over the world, and it's hard to sometimes empathize and understand the guys that come from different countries, whether it be from Cuba, the Dominican, Venezuela, Mexico, Asia, wherever it is. And I think it's one of those stories that players should read as well, and get an idea of what it's like for some of these guys and for their families when they come from Cuba.
Cashner ahead of Chris Davis here, 0-2. And he's over 90 pitches now, so there is activity in the Rangers bullpen. Dario Alvarez loosening up out there. A 1-1 game in the 6th inning.
Jeff Bannister would be thrilled if Andrew Cashner can get through this one unscathed, finish it clean, hand it over to the bullpen with some clean innings as well. He's done a very nice job up to this point in his 5 1/3 innings. Yes, the pitch count's starting to get up there a little bit, but if you can get 6 innings, 1 run out of Andrew Cashner, I think the Rangers would be very happy.
He's managed to get Davis to fly out to right field both times up so far tonight. And this one lifted high in the air, shallow right field, but won't even get as far as Mazzara. Odor intercepts it. 2 away.
Now, we mentioned earlier, we were talking about the shift. What I found very interesting in watching Adam Rosales. Check this out. So this is 0-0, and look where Adam Rosales is, right to the left of second base, right? That's the first pitch. Now count goes to, then we go to the second pitch. Now look where Rosales is now, kind of more behind second base. Now third pitch, watch him move over again. That is really what true shifting should be. But you just don't see a lot of teams do that because you worry about giving away what the pitch selection is going to be, whether you feel like a guy's going to pull or whatever it may be. You're throwing an off-speed pitch, you want to be here. So very interesting to see Adam Rosales kind of move from the left of second, right at second, and then ultimately to the right side of second base, depending on what the count was.
Strike to Lowry. And Cashner has him 0-2 here. Lowry has had the better of him tonight. The base hit in the second and the double in the fourth inning.
Well, this next pitch will be a season high for Andrew Cashner. He topped out at 95 pitches back on April 25th.
And Lowry will see one more at least. A run on 5 hits for Oakland tonight, and Cashner has walked just 1. Andrew doesn't have enough innings to qualify for the league leaders, but if he did, his 19 walks coming in would be 8th most in the American League in his 0-2 pitch. Bounces up there, 1-2 the count. So he has done a great job today of containing that part of the game. And has certainly given the Rangers a fighting chance against Jesse Hahn. Only 2 strikeouts tonight for Cashner. The righty's 1-2. This one out to center field. Gomez is there, and the inning is over. Retired the last 5 he faced. Fans will give him a nice round of applause as we go to the bottom of the 6th. Sonic Slam inning brought to you by Sonic Drive-In. Tonight's jackpot worth $1,700 plus dinner for 2 at Sonic Drive-In. Tonight the Rangers are hitting for Danny Woodard of Greenville. So if a Ranger hits a home run this inning, Danny will win $1,700. If they hit a grand slam, Danny wins $25,000.
It's getting to be that time, isn't it, right? That as that pot starts to build up a little bit. 1,700 is a nice number for Danny.
Well, he gets the 3, 4, and 5 hitters this inning. Couldn't work out a whole lot better. Zara, Lucroy, Odor, and if any one of them reaches, Mike Napoli, who had 2 home runs yesterday. 1-1 our score. Opening game in this 3-game series. Zara pops this one up. Foul ground, third base side, and Trevor Plouffe is there, 1 away.
Well, so the good news, like you mentioned, is where we are in the lineup right now and the opportunity to win some cash for Denny. The bad news is Jesse Hahn has allowed 1 home run this year, and so he has not been susceptible to the home run in his 35 innings, or 35 1/3, I should say, coming into this game. So that's the downside. I guess they can go ahead and add it up. I take that back. 35 2/3 plus his 5 1/3 tonight, Dave. That leaves us
with a lot.
41 innings.
There you go.
I think I botched that, but it's a good chance.
Just scribble it down on the paper, and
I know.
Lucroy 1 for 2. Has a base hit. And hits this one sharply up the middle off of Hahn. Karams out towards second. Lowry with a good recovery. Gets Lucroy. And there are 2 away. A 1-4-3 putout.
Tough break here for Jonathan Lucroy, who has been swinging a very hot bat. Takes his ball right back up the middle, but it goes off Jesse Hahn's right foot that he could not get out of the way in time. Looked like it might have caught him on the toe. Let's see here. And a sharp ricochet. And he'll jokingly tell you that, yeah, he figured he'd kicked it right at one of his fielders to give them a better chance of fielding it, but that is not a legitimate skill. He's laughing about it now because it turned into an out.
Check this out, though. This was his first appearance of the year, and it happened to be a relief appearance earlier this season against the Rangers. And this was back on April 7th. He came in and he pitched 6 brilliant innings, but he had this moment with Chu. Right back at him again.
Yeah, I think the conclusion you can draw from that for Jesse Hahn is maybe not a lot of jump roping as a kid, right? That right foot looks a little bit slow, can't quite get it up in the air in time. And that one he did not kick with the accuracy the way that he did the Jonathan Lucroy ground ball.
So here's Odor. That last hard shot up the middle there by Lucroy came in at 101 miles per hour. I would think that would hurt. 1-0. And he's fallen behind Odor here, and he walked Odor in the second.
The only thing real quick on that is his push-off leg, right? His right leg is a right-handed pitcher. Is his push-off leg. So if that did catch him on the toe, a lot of times your shoe will have that real hard pitcher's toe over the top of it, which would offer some extra protection.
There's 3 balls and no strikes to Odor.
You see that right there? You can actually see it. He does have that pitcher's toe, but here's the ball from Jonathan Lucroy. Did it catch him right on the toe? It looked like it did. Or maybe the top of the foot.
That one inside, and he has walked Odor twice tonight.
Not an easy thing to do. We know how aggressive Rougned Odor is at the plate. So for Jesse Hahn, probably a little bit frustrated with himself.
Now Mike Napoli comes to the plate.
First time this year, by the way, for Rougned Odor to have 2 walks in a game.
Stole a base earlier tonight, not running. And he watches Napoli take ball 1.
He also did not have any games last year with 2 walks. You believe that?
I do kind of believe that, quite honestly. He is not terribly interested in the walk. We know that.
Just going to kind of keep digging here. Let's check into 2015. And the answer is no. Now we got 1 more year to go. Could that have been the first 2-walk game of his career? Is it possible?
1-0 to Napoli. Bouncer right back. And Hahn takes care of it. Was it first ever?
Twice in 2014.
All right. Well, inning over. The Odor walk doesn't lead to anything. We go to the 7th inning, still tied at 1.
All Black Park is home to the best fireworks
Brought to you by Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. And by North Texas Ford. The Great American Sales Event is happening now at your local Texas Ford dealer. Ford is the best in Texas. Well, a 1-1 ball game. And we're now into the 7th inning. Andrew Cashner done for the night. And Alex Claudio has come on to throw. 15th appearance this year for him.
He's been great for the Rangers this season and has really kind of been their utility pitcher. He has done it all. He's taken on innings. He's also a guy you can use as a left-handed specialist if you need to. And he's been very good for the Rangers, and unfortunately for Andrew Cashner, that means no chance at a win, and he's going to have to wait at least one more start before he gets that first win in a Rangers uniform.
Claudio will start with Stephen Vogt, or was going to start with Stephen Vogt. Instead, they're going to pinch hit. So Josh Phegley will hit for Vogt.
Interesting, because even though he is left-handed, has the lower arm angle, he's actually been pretty good against both righties and lefties. The numbers have been very similar.
First pitch swinging, and Phegley lifts it out toward right center. Mazzara right there to make the play. So 1 away in this 7th inning. And some activity out there for the Rangers. Jeremy Jeffress, just in case.
Well, the way this inning was supposed to go, with Vogt being the lefty leading it off, of course, not Plouffe the righty, but there's a lefty on deck in Matt Joyce. And so if Claudio gets in a little bit of trouble, Jeff Bannister thinking he maybe would like to have a right-hander available, because there'll be 3 due up after Joyce.
1-0. Plouffe thought about it for a moment. 1-1 the count. Plouffe 0 for 2 today. Both times he's hit the ball to short. But those were both off Andrew Cashner. Cashner's last appearance was Wednesday through 2/3 of an inning in that Rangers 4-3 win over the Padres. First game back on this homestand. We saw him for an inning on Monday night in San Diego. The 2-1 pitch. This one shanked over to the right side and out of play. Phegley's pinch hitting appearance didn't last very long. They set up in on Plouffe, and it is a full count.
I love that combination there for Claudio, and he's throwing well. He loves using that changeup to right-handed hitters, but then coming back, if you're going to try to finish off a hitter with the fastball in, you see that changeup. It's going to be around 70, 72 miles an hour away, and then that makes that 86, 87 miles an hour inside look a lot harder.
This one hit on the ground and past shortstop and into left field. So Plouffe is on, and that will be a base hit.
Well, 3-2 count, and we know that Claudio certainly did not want to walk Plouffe in this situation. So it's a fastball that Jonathan Lucroy wanted away, but ends up sitting middle and actually even coming in a little bit. And Plouffe probably sitting fastball in that count. Does a nice job hitting that ball hard, and tough play there for Elvis. I mean, to try to slide and pick that cleanly, not very easy.
Elvis will head out there to have a word with Claudio. Now, our Kubota power stats are concerning this Rangers bullpen. And they have done the job lately. Last 3 outings, 2-0 record, 117 earned run average, so they've been good. Claudio gives up the base hit to Plouffe. Arcana announced as a pinch hitter, and so Jeff Bannister counters immediately. Here comes Jeremy Jeffress. We'll be back in just a moment.
The pitch for the Rangers, and one of the funniest stories I've encountered in my professional career. It took a whole new turn today. Guys, I don't know if you remember back in Oakland, there was an argument or a heated debate between Jeremy Jeffress and Mike Napoli concerning their body fat percentage. Jeremy Jeffress was a 12.5 and Mike Napoli was 12%. And the eruption in the clubhouse when Jose revealed those numbers was enormous. So today I'd come into the clubhouse and Jeremy Jeffress could not wait to get to me. And he said, "You need to go see your boy Napoli." And I said, "What are you talking about?" And he said, "Just got my body fat percentage back, retested, and I'm a 10.8. So he took it so seriously. Jeremy Jeffress has been, I guess, cutting back on something, but has got his body fat percentage down to 10.8 because he was not having it, that he was at a higher body fat percentage than Mike Napoli.
Well, I love the competitiveness, and I totally get it. Now, nearly 2% in what, 3 weeks?
That seems like a lot.
So it's the first road trip. So whenever we were in Oakland, that's what. Well, no. I take that back. Those were numbers that were done in spring training.
Oh, okay. All right.
So who knows where it was, but he was sure to get an updated number out to the masses today.
Of course. Listen, you beat Mike Napoli in anything, you're telling the world. Of course. Pitcher beating a position player when it comes to body fat. Yeah, I get it.
0-2 the count. We're going to take a look at Jeffress. 18 games now this year, 19th appearance today.
Jeremy's thrown the ball well lately, and he's in there right now with one out in this inning, and the idea of trying to get a ground ball. He's got the great two-seam fastball, that sinker that'll sit 94 to 96 miles an hour. Not a huge swing and miss guy, not necessarily a strikeout type of pitcher, but in this 0-2 count, it's the right time to go for it.
0-2, and it is popped down the right side, foul, and that one will end up in the stands. So Kana pinch hitting here, second pinch hitter that Bob Melvin has employed this inning. And a 1-1 ball game. Kana was just recently recalled from AAA Nashville. In fact, that was on Tuesday of this week. This is his second go-round with the ball club. He was used as a pinch hitter just the other day and flew out in the 8th inning. Tough job being a pinch hitter. It does take a special kind of person to do that well.
Lenny Harris, the all-time pinch hit leader. I had him as a teammate earlier in my career, and being around him, and then Mark Sweeney, who was a broadcaster with the Padres, who we just saw, is number 2 all-time on the pinch hit list. And you're absolutely right. It is a special kind of skill. It's definitely not meant for everybody. But what I learned over my years and talking to good pinch hitters and pitch strategy, most pinch hitters will tell you they come out hacking off the bench. They do not want to get deep in the count, and so as a pitcher, you counteract that. Take off-speed pitch or something really well located early in the count, because more often than not, those guys are looking for something, anything close to the plate to swing at early.
Kana's 0 for 2 as a pinch hitter so far this year. A 1-1 game, 1 out, a man at first. And this ball hit hard over third. That's a base hit and down into that left field corner. Plouffe running hard to third. They're going to wave him. The relay throw on the way from Andrews. It is in time, but dropped. Plouffe scores, and Oakland takes a 2-1 lead.
We'll see if we get a look. First of all, great job by Mark Canha as far as hitting this ball hard and left up. But we're going to take a look at what happened in the corners. I couldn't tell if the lineup of Shields had any issues. It's a tough play right here. You see that way that ball skips along. I can't see him there. It looked like he got it pretty clean. A good one-hop throw to Elvis Andrews, and a really great relay by Andrews. And you see some frustration as Jonathan Lucroy did not catch that clean. Unfortunately, see him reacting right there. Kind of came out of his glove right away, and maybe just trying to get that tag real quick. He knew it was going to be a bang-bang play, and an unfortunate break there for the Rangers.
RBI double. And kind of out there at second base, Rosales takes it low. 2-1 Oakland. Now that run charged to Alex Claudio. His book now closed after 1/3 of an inning, a run on 1 hit. One and one.
We'll get a little bit of a better look here on this ball in the corner. I said this is a tough play. You're not exactly sure which way it's going to bounce off, and you see Delino there have a little bit of an issue. But as it went from the left field wall to the actual apart and fair territory, it kicked off pretty fast. And he was unable to catch it clean. That's the difference. Everything is so important in fielding those balls cleanly, in the relay throws, and being accurate. And we give Delino a hard time. That was not an easy play in the corner by any means. He's running over there full speed, and that ball's kicking off that wall pretty hard.
Fouled off by Rosales. 1-2. We talked about it at the open of today's broadcast, but these two teams, boy, they have been evenly matched. 41 and 41 over their last 82 head-to-head games. Oakland has played a little bit better in the division in this early part of the season, 11 and 14. Whereas the Rangers are 8 and 14 coming into play. Just one game separating the two in the standings. Jeffress really slows things down, man. And I don't know, sometimes you talk about upsetting a hitter's timing. Maybe there's some effectiveness there. I know that Doug Brocail's talked about, you know, a little more of an attack mentality for his relievers. This one hit well out to center field. Gomez is there though, makes the play, and there are 2 out.
We were just having that conversation with Jeff Bannister in his office the other day about tempo and how important it is. And you will not find a position player in baseball that's going to tell you that they like when a guy is taking a lot of time in between pitches. And we were just talking about keeping your infielder sharp and in the game, because we were kind of going off the A.J. Griffin conversation. And we're trying to say, okay, how does this guy get so many runs the way that he does? The second highest since 2012 when it comes to run support. And again, there is no formula. We joke around about, we have some fun. It's been a great year for him. He's getting better than 11 runs per game. But does the pace have something to do with it? Keeping your fielder sharp, keeping him in the game. Not sure how much of an effect it has on your offense, but it absolutely has an effect on your defense. And fielders would tell you they love guys that work quick, throw strikes, but it doesn't work for everybody. You can't just say, well, hey, Jeremy, hurry up, man, go faster. Like that doesn't work for him. And for him, this pace is where he is most comfortable. And first things first, you want him more comfortable.
It's Davis to offer to strike. There's 2 outs here. Man at second base in a 1-run game. Davis's base hit came back in the first inning. He was eventually caught stealing. Uh-oh, that one off the glove of Lucroy. Kind of heads to third. He's 90 feet away now. We'll see how that one scored. Look, I mean, Jerk says pass ball, but
we'll see. They were looking for the fastball. Lucroy was in. That ball went away. Now, more often than not, to get a wild pitch, a ball has to be in the dirt, or if it's in the air, it has to be really wild. Otherwise, it ends up being called a pass ball a lot of times.
Oh, that one did go as a wild pitch.
Okay.
I'm a little surprised by that. Alvarez continuing to throw out of the bullpen. Well, 2 away here. Ball and a strike on Davis. Jeffers trying to keep this a 1-run game because he's got Kana over there at third. Appeal that one. Yeah, first base umpire Stu Sherwater absolutely rung him up. 1-2 the count. A bit of a struggle for Rajai Davis, for that matter, for the leadoff spot for the Oakland A's. Two balls and 2 strikes. They're the second lowest scoring offense in the American League. A's came in with 129 runs scored. I mentioned how they had struggled this year with men in scoring position. And it has been rough for them. I think right around 200 in these spots. 2-2. A little tapper, but that one went off of Davis's leg, and foul ball will set up and do it again.
You see the reaction immediately from Rajai Davis as you see this ball, good sinker, fouled off right off the top of his foot. And when you have guys with a good movement, the way that Andrew Kashner does, the way that Jeremy Jeffress does, when they throw that sinker down and in like that, it's not uncommon to see righties foul tipping that ball near their ankle, top of their foot, and that's exactly what happened to Rajai Davis there.
Another 2-2.
Jeremy wanted it. He didn't get it. It's a good pitch. It probably finished off the plate a ball, but he was looking for that called third strike. It did look pretty good, but I think that's most likely a good call there by Lance Barrett.
Ready again. Good battle here with Davis. Here it comes. And another foul ball.
7 pitches so far here between Jeremy Jeffress and Rajai Davis, and some frustration there. You have these little battles. He thought he had strike 3 on the 2-2, and then another foul ball from Rajai Davis, and this becomes as much about a mental battle as it is a physical one for Jeremy as he continues to grind here against the leadoff hitter for the A's.
1 run already in. Kana over at third, and the 3-2 to Davis, and he struck him out swinging. So Davis down swinging. The inning is over, and that gets the fans to their feet. We stretch here. We also get ready for God Bless America. We send it over to PA man Chuck Morgan.
Your attention, please, ladies and gentlemen. Will you please rise and direct your attention now to the area behind home plate and welcome David Gashin. In honor of all the veterans who have served our country and the servicemen and women who are currently stationed home and around the world, David Gashin will now perform God Bless America.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans, white with foam, God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home.
Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's trans. Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. And by AT&T Internet. Visit AT&T.com/keepcalm to learn more. All right, bottom of the 7th inning, a 2-1 ball game. Bottom of the order coming in the 7th for the Rangers, and Jesse Hahn still out there. We got a couple of changes. Mark Canha stays in the game to play right field. And Fegley, who pinch hit for Vogt, is staying in there behind the plate. Little comebacker, and Hahn handles it easily to retire Gomez. One away in the 7th inning.
Third baseman Joey Gallo.
We'll bring up Joey Gallo. Gallo walked in the 5th inning. 0 for 1. Very low scoring game tonight. Not a whole lot of opportunity for either team. 2 runs, 7 hits, a couple errors for Oakland. And this ball lifted high in the air. And straightaway center field. Davis takes care of it. And there are 2 out. Boy, nobody moved. All right, time for a Chevy game break. Let's send it back to Dana Larson. Ooh, it's a good battle.
It is, but you know the Minnesota Twins are out there fooling some folks as well. They came in tonight in first place, 17-14 on the season. Now it's a division that the Cleveland Indians are probably still the favorites. The Tigers are a game over. And we mentioned Jason Vargas as a good trade candidate. For me, Urban Santana is another one I think that teams have to consider. Now, he is signed through next year, through 2018. But if I'm the Twins, I'm moving on from him quickly. He's throwing well. Take advantage of it, I think. I mean, I don't see them as a contender this year or next year. I know they got a lot of young players, but a year plus on his contract, the way that he's throwing, the price that it costs to trade for guys now, what you get could get in return, I would try to move on from Urban Santana if I could. He is 34 years old, so that hurts the price a little bit, but starting pitching, always a need around baseball. Now, I know Twins fans would be disappointed if they do something like that this early and say we're not even trying, we throw in the towel. You certainly don't want to give off that appearance, but at the same time, I don't know if Urban Santana is going to be throwing any better than he is right now.
Jesse Hahn throwing pretty well tonight, and he is ahead of DeShields 0-2. Delino 2 for 2 off of him tonight. Single to right field in the 3rd. And then put down that beautiful bunt in the 5th inning. The safety squeeze that got Gomez to the plate. The only run for the Rangers so far. 1 run, 4 hits, no errors for the Rangers. They have stranded 5.
Now the downside here, Listen, anytime you get a starter that's throwing well with this kind of pitch count through 6 2/3, you get a little concerned about how deep he can get in the game. Now, Jesse Hahn has twice thrown right over 100 pitches, 101. He's done it twice so far, including in his last start, but his last start only went 3 2/3.
Fouled away by DeShields, keeps the count 1-2.
It's not easy to do, by the way. 3 2/3 innings with 101 pitches. And he's been very efficient this evening, and we talk about, I use that 15 number as kind of a nice goal, and anything else is really good. Well, 4 of his innings have been sub 15. Excuse me, 5.
DeShields hits this one in the air to left. Davis coming in, and it makes for another quick inning. Just 10 pitches needed for Jesse Hahn. We'll go to the 8th inning tonight, 2-1 Oakland. Game summary, and boy, Jesse Hahn just pitching lights out so far. 7 very good innings, only the 3 strikeouts, but he's dealing, and then a big pinch and hit double by Kana.
Yeah, the pinch hit double down the left field line was a big one. Hard to believe that Jesse Hahn was not in this rotation when the season started, the way that we're seeing him throw tonight. Just those 83 pitches, which is a concern. He's locked in. The Rangers have got to find a way. Obviously, just 2 innings to go. It's not about getting that pitch count up anymore. It's about getting to him in some hard contact and getting him out of the game and trying to get to that bullpen. But Jesse Hahn has been very good tonight.
Yeah, very quiet 7th inning. Used just 10 pitches. Right when you think maybe he might be tiring, maybe you could extend it a little bit, and they did not. So Keone Kela has come on to pitch in the 8th inning now for the Rangers. 4th pitcher of the night. Replaces Jeffress, who got the final 2 outs last inning. Second place hitter Ryan Healy stands in. It'll be Healy, Alonso, and Davis.
See Konakela and what he has done so far this year. Really big fastball from him. We know that. The ability to generate some swings and misses, which would be good to see. There's only been 3 strikeouts so far tonight by Rangers pitchers.
Well, it's been a low strikeout night for both sides, which is something we're not terribly accustomed to at this point of the season.
We know that Andrew Cashner obviously not a big swing and miss guy, so that's part of it. But on the flip side of that, when you look at the Oakland A's, from an offensive standpoint, the lowest strikeout total they've had so far this year has been 5. Well, they're under that right now through 7 innings with just 3 strikeouts.
Just a little bit high, and it's 3-1 to Healy. Healy's 0 for 3, a couple of ground outs, fly out to right. Came up last year and dazzled down the stretch, and he takes a walk to start the 8th inning.
First baseman Yonder Alonso.
Hey, Rangers fans, come out May 17th for an autograph session with Rangers third baseman Joey Gallo at the Whataburger at 3204 Town East Boulevard in Mesquite at 10:30 a.m. While there, sign up to be a Whataburger What a Fan, and you could win tickets to a Rangers game and Whataburger for a year. Visit TexasRangers.com/appearances for more information. And I'm not looking at you, but I can see you looking at me right now, Dave Raymond. And here was the problem. I was so concerned about the Whataburger What a Fan that I said that Joey Gallo part was the easiest part, and that's the part I botched.
It's all right.
Whataburger What a Fan.
Yeah.
I pre-read that thing, and I said, oh, boy.
Oh, really? I
psyched myself out, and then I forgot Joey Gallo's name, so I apologize for that. Did I say Joey Gallo? That's why, because it was Whata. That was it was in my head.
Yeah, the Whata. Got you to Gallo. Tricky. 2-0 to Yonder Alonso. So leadoff walk to Healy. And now 2-0 suddenly to Alonso. And that will get Doug Brocail out to the mound.
And this has been a problem. We've talked about it a bunch with the Rangers and the bullpen and the walk situation. And trying to get this thing under control. Listen, there is only so much you can do as a pitching coach. And Doug Brocail can talk about it all day long. And he can talk about pace and trying to get these guys to throw strikes, but it has been a little bit of an issue for Rangers relievers so far this year when it's come to their walk rate. .38 walks per 9 innings for Rangers bullpen. That's the 20th. They rank 20th in baseball right now with that rate.
2-0 pitch, and this one popped up out near second base. Andrews can't handle it. One out here in the 8th inning. We'll bring up Chris Davis. Davis quiet so far tonight, 0 for 3. I mentioned it earlier. Rangers fans don't need any reminders, the kind of damage that he has done over the years against us, but he is not in a good way right now.
No, I've certainly got to believe for Rangers pitchers, they're happy to see him come in here cold because of the damage that he has done against them. And you pay attention to those things as they go through the pitchers meetings. They know, okay, Chris Davis, we don't have to be reminded about how good he has been against us. Those Rangers pitchers know that, but at the same time they know what he's been doing lately and keeping track of what he has been struggling with. That's what advanced scouting is all about. When you send your advanced scouts out to watch a team for a series or two prior to when they come to play your team, you're taking notes of those things and what they're seeing, because reading stats can only tell you so much. You know, what's he swinging and missing at? What is he hitting hard? And in the case of Chris Davis right now, it seems like so far the Rangers have the book on what's been going on with him lately.
Fouls this one off and in a hole 1-2. Now he has not struck out yet tonight, but Davis has fanned at least once in each of his last 21 games. In fact, a total of 33 times over this 21-game stretch. It's the longest strikeout streak in A's history for a non-pitcher. Jack Cust held the record. He did it in 19 straight games. The 1-2 pitch, and that'll leave it up.
That's a good breaking ball from Keona Kelly. Yeah, it finished a ball, but that ball, check out the break on this pitch and how long it was actually above, then through the strike zone and finishing below it. Give Chris Davis a little bit of credit for laying off of that pitch. That was a nice breaking ball from Kelly.
Kelly got the 2 strikes quickly on Davis. Now can he put him away? The 2-2 popped up out into right field. Lazaro waiting, and there are 2 out.
The next Texas Chili Company Dollar Hot Dog Night is Wednesday, May 17th, when the Rangers face the Philadelphia Phillies. Head out to Globe Life Park and enjoy ballpark hot dogs for just $1 each. Get your tickets at Rangers.com or by calling 972-RANGERS. Attaboy, nailed it. Doesn't happen too often.
Joey Gallo.
The thing is, I've been reading for a long time. A long time.
A long time you've been reading?
I've been reading for a long time,
That's
yeah.
good. That's
Since
good.
at least like 8th or 9th grade.
Oh, yeah. Jed Lowry now. So I happened to flip on the TV earlier today, and my cousin Vinny was on.
Oh, nice.
So when you said Joey Gallo,
Oh, nice. Yeah.
it just took me right back to the movie.
Utes? Did you say
Utes?
Utes? What's a Ute?
Youths. Healy going. Pitch is high. Throw to second. Should have him by a mile, and it does. Healy got a running start, but that wasn't even close. Second caught stealing tonight for Jonathan Lucroy. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Rangers down by 1. Oakland as we go to the bottom of the 8th inning. So Sunday, by the way, is Mother's Day. And I know you're going to get flowers, do the whole thing. You got to do it right. But there's really, if you really want to do it right, you got to bring mom out to the ballpark. We got a 2:05 game against Oakland. First 15,000 fans will get that infinity scarf. 14 and older, of course, and so mom will love that.
But you were saying that I can't be the only thing I get her?
Flowers? No.
No, the scarf.
Oh, yeah, you can do that.
I just scarf solo.
Absolutely.
I
if you
think
need
so.
to.
See if I can pull that off. Sure.
Because, as you know, it is not the gift, it's the thought.
Married for 18 years, Dave. I'll tell you that is not true.
I don't want to pry. But if you've already planned out Sunday, you got it all taken care of.
Well, a little pressure, actually. You know, we have my mom as well and my wife. My wife's actually going to be here.
Yeah.
She's going to come in for Mother's Day. They have a big triple play event that we have on Sunday for the Texas Rangers Foundation. So we'll actually get to celebrate in person, which will be nice.
Good.
You know, when you're on the baseball schedule, you miss a lot of the in-season holidays a lot, right? So it'll be nice that we'll be together for this one.
Foul ball by Chu.
But you know what's happening? Well, first of all, yes,
you thought about this
awesome
for a gift?
You know, my wife would actually, she probably would enjoy this a little bit. She was a softball player in college, so good Louisville Slugger bat. Now, could you give us the demo on how you did the catcher's interference? Like,
just reach back, yeah. Make the swing a little longer. You'll get there.
For those of you that don't know, Dave was bragging about the strong skill set that he had in Little League, which was intentionally getting catcher's interference when he was going bad.
It's a judgment-free zone up here, is it not?
That's incorrect. I will freely judge you.
Okay.
Now, listen, I get it. You're a competitor.
Well, I'm a cheater.
Yeah. Even Jacoby Ellsbury, who is now 1 away, by the way, from tying Pete Rose's all-time record of catcher's interference.
So Pete Rose did it. I did it. I mean, you know.
How can you start a sentence with Pete Rose and not end it with Dave Raymond? I mean, it's pretty common.
Full count on 2. 1-run game here in the 8th inning. Get this thing right back on track. Chu is 0 for 3. And Dole walks him. So the lead man on in the bottom of the 8th. Ryan Dole on for Jesse Hahn. So the Rangers with a chance to get a look at something other than Hahn tonight, and that's good news.
Yeah, there's some good arms down in that A's bullpen, but when you have a guy that's locked in and seems to have the numbers of the Rangers so far tonight, you take a look at what Ryan Dole has done so far this season, you wonder if you're a little hesitant to make a change. But for Bob Melvin, he said no, not with the 1-run lead. He didn't want to take that chance, especially when you think about flipping the order over for a 4th time and running Jesse Hahn through them again. So he makes the changes. You see Ryan Rua now on the pinch run for Shin-Soo Choo, but we'll see if that ends up being a decision he regrets as the Rangers try to get something started here in the 8th.
Rua now at first, and Andrews, who is 0 for 3, steps in. Dole gets him to swing and miss at that breaking ball in the dirt. Jesse Hahn, 7 innings, a run on 4 hits, walked 3, struck out 3. We'll check in on Rua. Bouncer third base. The second for 1, the relay to first. And a double play wipes the bases clean. They go around the horn, 5-4-3.
Tough break for Elvis Andrews. He hit this ball pretty hard, but he drilled it right at the third baseman, Trevor Plouffe, who feels it nice and cleanly, just a little bit to his left. Makes a perfect throw to Adam Rosales, who's actually coming over from playing short and turning that double play, which is not that comfortable of a throw, but the ball was hit so hard and fielded so cleanly that that double play was never in doubt.
Yeah, it goes 5-6-3. And the good news for Rosales is he's, you know, a utility guy, so he's not unaccustomed to that angle, though he is a lot more comfortable on the left side of the diamond. Here's Mazzara, and he takes a strike. Nomar 1 for 3. So the inning started nicely with the walk, but for the second time, Andrews doubled off. In fact, that is now 9 times that Elvis has hit into a double play. That is among the most in the American League. Rangers still in a situation where one swing could still tie this game. And it's a 2-1 count on Mazzara. Matt Bush ready for the 9th. Dole's 2-1.
You see Matt Bush warming up, even though the Rangers are down right now. He last pitched on May 10th, so a couple of days ago. Before that, it was May 5th, so he hasn't had a lot of work as of late. And so Jeff Bannister feels comfortable using Matt Bush, even if they are down, going into the 9th inning.
This one fouled just above the dugout. Dole was a guy who was used a lot last year as a rookie with Oakland. He pitched in 70 games last year, and he was really good. Talking about a guy with a 186 batting average against last season, in his rookie year, had a 242 earned run average.
He dealt just 50 hits allowed in 74 innings, but what sticks out to me, getting that much work and having a walk rate 1.8 per 9, sub 2. He was filling up the strike zone and he wasn't letting up hits. He had a big year last year.
Mazzaro hooks this one on the ground toward first. Alonso will go to the bag himself, and that ends the Rangers' half of the 8th inning. So now to the 9th we go. Still a 1-run game.
AT high-speed replay, and the only run the Rangers scored so far tonight started with the Carlos Gomez double. Big turnaround second, and ultimately he is able to advance to third on the errant throw from Jesse Hahn on an attempted pickoff. And then it is the safety squeeze from Delino de Shields and a great slide from Carlos Gomez at home. That is our AT high-speed replay, but the Rangers hoping for a little bit more than just that one run tonight. But nice job all the way around, both hitting and running the bases by Carlos Gomez.
9th inning now, and it's a 1-run game. Matt Bush waiting in the bullpen. Kella's first pitch lofted out to center field, and Gomez is there. So 1 pitch, 1 out in the 9th. It'll be interesting to see how far they want to push Kella.
I'm guessing most likely that the way Jeff Bannister was working this, Matt Bush was throwing down in the bullpen, had the Rangers tied or taken the lead, or at least taken the lead for sure, maybe tied. Then Matt Bush was in the game, and that's why he was throwing. And he's still throwing a little bit down in that bullpen, so I don't know if Jeff Bannister is even thinking about potentially using him. I mentioned that he pitched on Wednesday, did not pitch yesterday, had a few days off before that. Now the 3-game series starts tonight with the A's, and then there's an off day Monday. Now pitching in all 3 might be asking a lot, but there is an off day coming up on Monday as well, and so that factors in as far as how Jeff Bannister looks at using his pen right now.
And you've talked about this before, but if a guy's getting up and getting hot in the bullpen, it is pretty much the same, right, in terms of days used. Nice big curveball and a strikeout of Fegley, 2 away. So that being the case, let's say a situation emerged here where there was a big runner on base, maybe you would go to Bush.
Sure. I mean, you don't want to overuse him obviously in the game that you're down, but the idea of having him ready, because the fact that he's still throwing tells me yes, they want him ready just in case to potentially finish off the inning should Kella get in trouble, or in case of Matt Bush, he may just feel like getting a little bit of extra work, and you have those days. Even though he pitched 2 days ago, he may be working on something and wanted to throw here a little bit, but you got to be careful because this game could be tied, could go extra innings, and could get a little bit lengthy. So there's a balance in there. It's always tough when you're a reliever if you want to try to get any work in the bullpen or throw a couple of extra pitches and trying to time that right and not burning yourself out.
Here's Trevor Plouffe. 1-1 the count. Santiago Casilla getting ready. And we'll have Lucroy, Odor, and Napoli coming in the last of the 9th. That one right in there, and it's 1-2.
Breaking ball looks really good tonight from Keone Kela. Started pointing out that one that he threw to Chris Davis for a ball, and then the strikeout. Vaguely, and now Trevor Plouffe has seen some good ones as well.
That one is a called strike 3. High strike to Plouffe, but it'll end the inning. Back-to-back punch-outs for Kela. Now the bottom of the ninth coming. Heart of the order for the Rangers. See if they have some walk-off magic left. Rangers down by a run tonight, last of the ninth coming. This is how it happened yesterday, with the game tied and 2 men on. Mike Napoli. Forget it.
Absolutely hammered that ball into the second level, and now the Rangers are going to leave it up to somebody else. They need somebody else to do it potentially tonight. Could it be Jonathan Lucroy, Rougned Odor, or I want to get down to Mike Napoli again. Maybe it could be him in back-to-back nights. You'll certainly take that as well, but they will have to do it against Santiago Casilla, who does have one blown save so far this season. You see the 12 strikeouts to just the 6 walks as well. This guy's still got a good arm. He's been doing it for a while. He's been pretty good so far this year.
And Napoli due up third in the inning. Lucroy to start it off, and a nice curveball in there for a strike.
And you know, Mike Napoli's thinking, man, just give me one. Give me one guy on base right here. Let's do it again. He's feeling it right now after last night, so he'd love to see Jonathan Lucroy or Rougned Odor find their way on base.
Casilla, 36 years old now. Throwing right-hander, and his 1-strike pitch. 1-1. Lucroy was a big part of that rally last night in the ninth inning. Had the second hit of the inning. Got on right in front of Odor, who tied the game with a base hit. And then Napoli won it. And I thought one of the things we saw in that ninth inning yesterday, really controlled swings, right? The at-bats, guys cut down just a little bit, put it out in play, and it worked out. Bouncer left side, tough play, and that's through into left field, base hit. That's a good start.
Jonathan Lucroy does it again, and he has just been swinging a hot bat. You mentioned the quality at bats, working the counts. Jonathan Lucroy now 3 days in a row where he is finding himself getting on base with base hits, and it's a good 2-seam fastball from Santiago Casilla, and he gets the ground ball, but it was hit hard and hit right in between the third baseman and the shortstop. Rosales no chance of getting to it, and now Pete Kozma comes in to run. for Jonathan Lucroy.
An important runner. Has that tying run in his back pocket. And Odor up at the plate. And he lines this one into right field. That's a base hit. Cosma got a good turn. He'll head to third. And the tying run is 90 feet away.
And the Rangers are making these games fun in the 9th inning, aren't they? Rougned Odor not waiting around at all. Jumping on this pitch that he sees. Casilla ends up kind of staying up a little bit more than he wanted. Look at the good swing. We talked about that chin. Good job by Rugi, too, to keep the hands back a little bit. He was actually caught out front on that pitch, but not fooled enough. Does a good job. And look at Cosmo. Really nice base running, reading that ball off the bat. The Rangers are in business once again with Mike Napoli at the plate.
Three-run homer last night for Napoli to win it. 2 men on in front of him right here. Time asked for and granted by Lance Barrett.
This is interesting, right? We talked about how the A's were cutting off runs early, right? 1-0, and they were playing infield in. Well, the middle is back right there. You see the middle infielders, shortstop and second baseman playing back, which tells you a ground ball goes there and that the A's are conceding that run, and they'll take the 2 outs. And so they'll actually allow the Rangers to tie the game if Mike Napoli hits a ground ball to short or second.
Literally playing for extra innings here.
Yeah, it was surprising based on what we saw earlier tonight from them.
1-0. And that's ball 2. You mentioned it, Casilla does have one blown save this year. Casilla's first 6 years in the big leagues were with the Oakland A's, then became a Giant in 2010. Over the years, evolved into the Giants' closer. Last year, that was not necessarily a good thing. They had a lot of trouble in San Francisco. Now back with his original club, again as their closer.
Love to see that if you're a Ranger. Casilla stepping off a little bit, maybe overthinking a situation. He knows what happened last night. He also knows that Mike Napoli was in a 3-1 fastball count. He's sitting in a fastball count right now at 2-0. Now it's more 2-seamers than 4-seamers from Casilla, so there's some pretty good movement on the fastball, but nevertheless, it's a fastball count.
2-0.
That's the difference. That's what a 2-seam fastball gets. It's a nice swing by Mike Napoli, but because of the little bit of movement that's on that pitch at the end, you see this ball kind of spinning here. Gets Mike Napoli to kind of hit the top half of it. I'm gonna stay away from 4-seam fastballs to Mike Napoli, that is for sure.
Trying to set up one really good party tonight at Napoli's.
This gets interesting because that last pitch was actually a slider. You saw the sideways spin. Didn't do very much, but had enough movement to get Napoli just off with the fastball. And so, even though, again, still a fastball count, to see him maybe thinking to himself he's not going to give in at all to Mike Napoli. But what he does not want to do is obviously walk Mike Napoli and put the potential winning run in scoring position with nobody out.
2-1 pitch coming. And this one hit high in the air to left field. It won't get out, but it will tie the game. Davis has it. Cosma tags. He'll score. And we're tied at 2. Napoli knocks this one up with a sac fly.
You'll take it any way that you can get it, and this is still a quality at bat from Mike Napoli in a big situation. You're trying to get this run in any way that you possibly can. He got the 2-1 slider, or excuse me, 2-0, and now he gets another one at 2-1. And he just got under this ball It was a pretty good pitch to hit, just a little bit out front. Just a little bit of frustration there for Mike Napoli because he's thinking, let's end this game right now. But that is a good at bat and a good fly ball. He does a nice job of getting the tying run in here in the 9th inning.
Carlos Gomez with a man at first. Tie game, 9th inning. Odor with a decent lead.
And he is thinking, isn't it? You can see it tonight. There's a lot of doubting of either the signs that are going down or of himself, or not sure of the game plan and exactly what they want to do here against these Rangers hitters from such a big spot.
Bob Melvin used a couple of pinch hitters in the 7th inning. One of them for his starting catcher, Stephen Vogt. Fagley came in, has been catching from the bottom of the 7th on, but he and Casilla having trouble right now.
And 4 for 4 opposing runners right now when it comes to stolen bases. Like Casilla this season, so that's also probably in the back of his mind a little bit. Now that's as many as he allowed all of last season. They were, base runners were 4 for 5 against Santiago Casilla, but already this year 4 for 4 against him. That's a lot against a closer this early in the season.
Well, and you can call it against a closer. The other thing is base runners in general have run wild on Oakland, and that's more on the catchers. This one out toward right field. Odor with a great start. Good turn to third, and Beasley's going to stop him there. A double for Gomez, and the winning run now is at third.
Smart base running there from Rougned Odor. I got to believe the temptation might have been there a little bit. But hopefully we get a look at Carlos Gomez as well. We saw him take the big turn around second base in his double earlier in this game. That was back in the 5th inning. But first of all, check this out. Another slider that didn't do a ton, actually came back a little bit. Carlos Gomez is so good on balls down. I would never throw him a strike down in a big situation. But watch this. Drills this ball in the gap. Nice job by the A's getting this ball in quickly, playing it conservative. Let's see if we can get a look at Carlos Gomez, where he thinks he's going in that situation. If that throw had gone a second, that actually would have been a pretty close play, but we know that he plays with reckless abandon sometimes, and his thought process there, by the way, is that if the throw was to go home, listen, they got to throw home, right? It's, you got to get the out at home. There is that thought sometimes of, are you trying to draw a throw? In any other inning, yes, you might be doing that, trying to draw a throw, exchanging out for a run, but not in the 9th. The 9th inning, to win it, that throw would be going home every single time.
It's got a little warm in here for Santiago Casilla.
Yes, it has.
3 hits in the inning. Back-to-back singles to open it by Lucroy and Odor. Lucroy left for the pinch runner Cosma. He'd score on Napoli's sac fly. Gomez has put 2nd and 3rd now, 1 out, infield in for Gallo. Now, if you're Bob Melvin and the A's, any thought to walking Gallo to set up the force?
I don't think so, and that's only because there's a lot of swing and miss in Joey Gallo's game. So I think you're aggressive on the corners. You try to get Joey Gallo to go hacking a little bit. I mean, he's dangerous too. You can't make a mistake. He can hurt you and end this game in a heartbeat. But I think you play the percentages here and you go for the strikeout.
1-1.
That's a nice changeup when you think about the fastball at around 94, 95 miles an hour, and this is pulling the string at 88 in a 1-0 count. Joey Gallo, eyes got big, which is understandable. You got a chance to win the game. You're going to go after that pitch. You're going to go after it aggressively, but he's probably sitting or looking and thinking that was a fastball in that spot.
Gallo 7th in the league with 24 RBIs. Just misses.
The other part of that, of course, is the idea, yes, you set up the force at home, but with Delino DeShields, the idea of turning a double play is probably not likely, and that means you bring Shin-Soo Choo to the plate with a chance to win it as well. So I think that probably all ties into the strategy for Bob Melvin.
Casillas already blown the save. A run across. Odor at 3rd, Gomez 2nd, and a 1-2 pitch. Not chasing.
The flip side of that is Santiago Casilla understanding he doesn't necessarily have to give in either. You don't want to give in to Joey Gallo, make a mistake over the plate. He will hurt you, so you can still shoot corners, go for the strikeout. If you happen to walk in non-intentionally, that's fine too. It's not the end of the game.
Rangers trying to make it back-to-back nights with walk-off magic. Casillas 2-2.
Like I said earlier, I mean, where else would you rather be on a Friday night after what the Rangers did last night and now again tonight? Providing some great theatrics here in the 9th inning, and Joey Gallo wants to take his turn in being the hero.
He waits the 2-2, and it's a full count.
It's impressive. And I know I've said it a bunch this year, but watching him lay off pitches that we're used to seeing him chase, the confidence is high right now for Joey Gallo, seeing the ball well. Much more discipline. Yes, he is still going to go out of the zone. It's part of his game, but it has been a lot better here this season.
One out in the inning. Winning run down at third. This ball hit hard down the right field line. It is gone! A home run! A 3-run shot for Gallo. And for the second night in a row, the Rangers have walked it off. Unbelievable.
What an at-bat by Joey Gallo after getting in the hole early, chasing that 1-0 changeup, but being patient, working that at-bat to a full count, and then seeing an off-speed pitch in a full count. It was a 3-2 curveball from Santiago Casilla, and Joey Gallo stays back just long enough to keep that baseball fair. And what a moment for Joey Gallo, coming up huge here for the Rangers. Watch this pitch, curveball. And Santiago Casilla decides to throw it for a strike. And I said, if you're going to be aggressive, go ahead. If you walk him, so be it. But you do not want to make a mistake to this guy. The only thing he wasn't sure was whether or not that ball was going to be foul. And it hit the foul pole. And what a nice moment, one he will never forget. Joey Gallo with a 3-run walk-off home run.
And we're eating chicken. A 3-run homer 2 nights in a row, and for 2 nights in a row, a 4-run 9th inning, and the Rangers summoning some kind of magic here at Globe Life Park. Down to the field with our hero tonight, standing by with Emily.
Thank you very much, Joey Gallo. Take us through that final at bat.
You know, with the base open, 1 out, I kind of thought they were gonna just put me on, but they decided to pitch me, and I just wanted to have a good at bat and get that run home any way I could.
When you get down in the count, take me through the thought process that was going through your head to stay patient.
Yeah, I just wanted to stay patient and just get a pitch that I could just put in play and let something happen, and was able to fight and do that.
They got him once already. Well, there's another one for you. For you, Joey, to be a part of a win like this, to be a contributor on this team, what's it been like for you?
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. You know, I feel like we're starting to swing the bats a little better. We're starting to come together as a team. And you know, 2 walk-off wins in a row. That's pretty fun. So it's been a lot of fun so far.
Joey, thanks for the time. We appreciate it. Congratulations, buddy. We'll let him go dry off, guys.
Unbelievable. 4th time in franchise history to win consecutive games with walk-off home runs. Dana Larson, Mark McLemore, and Pudge. They'll be back with more on this one. So will we back here in the booth. For CJ Nitkowski, Emily Jones, and our entire crew, This is Dave Raymond saying stay with us. A lot more coverage of another magical night here at Globe Life Park to come right after this.